Classy on a Friday. That's the Class on 101 ESPN. We are live inside Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Come down, say hello, get yourself some tickets for tonight's event. It's going to be fantastic. So to celebrate the start of the 24-25 Blues season, Anheuser-Busch and us will be hosting the second annual Blues and Brews event on Friday, September 20th at Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Sponsored by Bud Light, 101 ESPN and 92.3 WIL. Outdoor street party tonight. It's going to include live music, appearances by Blues players and alum. Food trucks are going to be here. Historic streets of the brewery. That's going to be all open. This year's event features St. Louis's own the Charles Glenn Group, headlined by country music star and friend and AB Matt Stell. So this is going to be a fun night, man. The brewery, the experience is fantastic. Like I said, we're going to be down here broadcasting live from 2 to 6. The event doesn't start till 7, but I believe they cut off ticket sales at 3. So I want to make sure that you can get tickets, 101ESPN.com for ticket information. And it's going to be a fun night, Marsh.
I'm excited for it. Last year was really fun. Jamie had such a great time. And I know he wishes to share that right now, but we're having some technical difficulties. But no, last year was super fun. It was just a great way to kick off the year, and I'm excited about hockey season. Obviously, the Cardinals are probably in a position where they won't make the playoffs, and I think there's a ton of buzz around town about the Blues, even though they missed the playoffs last year. But what Doug Armstrong was able to do this offseason, it created a ton of excitement. I'm one of those people that's just really excited for the Blues season to get going.
Do we have Jamie?
I don't know.
Yep, you're on. Hey! There we go.
What's weird is I can't hear myself, so you know how you have the.
We'll fix that.
We'll get there. Oh, wait. Oh.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, boys, how we doing? Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Last year was the inaugural event here at the brewery, and it was packed full of people, a lot of fun. Expecting the same here tonight. It's been buzzing here already today. People in and out of the brewery. It's certainly one of my favorite places to be, Anthony. Where I'd rather be on a Friday, that's for sure.
That's right. All right. So history was made last night with Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani had himself quite a night against the Miami Marlins. 50-50 club he joined by going 6 for 6, posted a Dodgers record 10 RBI in the same game. It was the first 6-hit, 3-homer, 10 RBI, 2-steal game in Major League Baseball history.
That guy's a mutant.
And as soon as I got into my car following the show last night, I had flipped over because I wanted to get some, NFL. We'll get to the NFL game for last night, but I wanted to hear some of the NFL news and notes. And somebody on Sirius was talking about the Ohtani feed. And there was two guys, and they were talking about it. And one host was already minimizing the accomplishment.
What? Why?
Because of the big bags.
Because of the what?
The bigger bags. It's easier now to steal bases.
I'd figure if you had a bigger bag, it'd be harder to steal the base.
I guess to some degree, maybe. Jamie, you're
God.
right.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, you just never know, right?
You're right. Sure.
But Shohei Ohtani makes it look easy.
He makes it look easy.
He
That's
does.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought to myself, I'm like, why do we do this? Why do we have to? Oh, he's not this. He's not that. He's not Babe Ruth. He's not like. Why can't we appreciate in the generation? Why can't we just appreciate what Shohei Ohtani has done in this generation? We don't have to compare him to Babe Ruth. We don't have to compare him to even other athletes in other sports. That's remarkable.
Yeah, it's probably the greatest baseball game ever played. That's what a lot of people are saying right now. The greatest baseball game ever played by a single person.
Marshy, you're right. He went 6 for 6.
Incredible.
He stole 2 bases, 3 home runs, I believe, 2 doubles and a single.
10 RBI.
What more does an individual have to do?
Right.
And you cannot minimize. I thought you were going to say minimize it because, it was against the Marlins. Well, guess what? Those guys are Major League Baseball players, too.
What are you going to say next? That he hit one off a position player?
Did he?
Did he have one? It really looked like it.
I mean, come on.
I don't know why. You shouldn't minimize it. And, like, if someone wants to use the Babe Ruth as like the Babe Ruth argument, all right, when's the last time you saw him play live? Like,
that'd be 0.
Yeah.
That'd be 0.0 times.
Yeah. So why are you so like dug in on Babe Ruth.
Well, some people are even saying, I was listening today, it's like, hey, was that the greatest ever, right? Like, was that the greatest game in Major League Baseball history? And people are talking about Reggie Jackson's. I'm just going to power through this.
There's always something, isn't there?
This is what happens when you do live remotes.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
It's the guy.
It's the voice of Babe Ruth. He's trying to interrupt this conversation.
He is. He's pissed right now. The great Bambino.
He's just throwing static on this.
That wimpy deer?
Anyways, was this the greatest? Was this the greatest game ever? Some people were talking. Well, Reggie, have you heard of Reggie Jackson and the what he did in the World Series? Yeah. Okay. Great. Why don't we just appreciate what this guy just accomplished? It's remarkable.
You are a professional, Anthony.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're a pro. You're passionate right now about Shohei Ohtani. We have someone drilling a hole in the ceiling above us, or static. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't even know if they can hear us over what's going on.
I would rather have a band playing right now over us.
We've done that
Where's
too.
Moon when you need him?
Yeah.
Get his band set up here, and they can play. I'd rather that than that. Whatever that noise is makes me want to put my head off this brick wall behind us.
This is a nice brick wall.
It's a very
too.
nice brick.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
You're right, though. We had to battle through that the one time.
Yeah, that
Moon's
was great.
band practicing behind us at Ballpark Village
At the
for the
Battlehawks
Battlehawks.
launch
Yeah, the Battlehawks launch party.
Vidal Brujan.
He pitched.
He pitched and gave up, obviously, a home run.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm glad Shohei took him to the woodshed. Why not? You're out there making history. Who cares who's pitching?
Right.
If they're so terrible in that game that you have to put a position player in, deal with it.
Right. Well, how about Skip Schumacher, too?
Oh, yeah.
You guys were telling me there was video of Skip Schumacher in the dugout. And
Marshy saw this.
Yeah, Marsh.
Yes.
They were basically the thought was, the conversation was, hey, should we walk him?
Yeah.
Because it was later on in the game.
Weren't they already ahead by like 12 runs?
Yeah.
It was 11-3, and there was runners on second and third, 2 outs, and Shohei's obviously up to bat. And what you could do is just walk the guy and load the bases. But Skip Schumacher, and this is what he probably said from people. They know how to.
You're reading lips.
They can read lips.
Yeah.
And
be careful here, Marshy.
It said fast lane that.
There you go.
Too much respect for this guy for that to happen.
Yeah.
Good
I
for
agree.
him. Skip's old school, man. He's not going to do something where he's going to.
You're down by
walk-
8 runs.
Yeah, walk
Who
Ohtani.
cares?
Come on. It's ridiculous.
All of a sudden, after being down by 8 runs, now you're going to walk the guy?
Right.
Yeah.
Just pitch to him. If he hits it, good for him.
Hey, listen, guys. Ohtani wasn't the only one that had himself a night last night.
Oh, yeah.
Brendan Donovan of your St. Louis Cardinals went 4 for 4 with 2 ribbies. Now, it's not 10, but still, that's a fine evening. Now, the Cardinals did lose 3-2 in the game, spoiling a multi-hit performance by Paul Goldschmidt and, again, the aforementioned Brendan Donovan. Eric Fetty pitched well, 6 innings, 4 hits allowed, 1 run, struck out 3, 1 walk. Pirates eventually got to the bullpen. Are you guys good with Eric Fetty next year in the rotation?
Yeah, why not?
Is it a fast lane fine situation?
He's a total fast lane.
That's how I feel.
Total.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's fine.
I'm okay with Eric Fetty over Gibson and Lance Lynn.
Me too.
And it's not because I don't like those guys. I've had some people hit me up on Twitter. Yeah, you're a hater on Lance Lynn. I'm not. In fact, I like his big, burly personality and his prickly attitude. I like it. I think 5 years ago it would have been awesome. Yeah. Right now, it's time to move. Just keep the feet going here. Gibby's a tremendous individual. I'm sure he wants to continue playing. If he didn't, for some reason, Gibby would be the first guy I offer a job to within the organization with the Major League Club. Some assistant pitching coach, something. He's such an awesome leader and human being. Perfect. But they don't belong on my team next year. Eric Fetty, has he proven to me that he's the guy? No. But you have another year of him. He had a good start to this season. His last couple of outings have been pretty good, too, for the Cardinals. Yeah. When you pair him up with Sonny Gray. And then I really think next year it's Palante, McGreevy. And the more I read up and watch video and listen, Quinn Matthews, man, People are talking about him jumping to the majors next year. Like, not just me, not like fans, not like people who live in Memphis. Like, national people are like, this guy is the real deal.
Yeah.
This one guy said flat out, he said, I've never seen a guy start at low A, get to AAA, and do what he's doing. He said his trajectory is to compete for a spot next year in spring training.
Why not?
And with 3 younger guys, and you got Eric Fed, who's kind of a tweener,
Yeah.
and Sonny Gray, who's your veteran guy. There you go.
I think the one name that everyone's probably circling and had massive question marks around is Miles Michaelis. Like, what are
Oh, I
you
forgot
going
we
to
had
do
him.
with Miles
I was
Michaelis?
wondering if you forgot
I
it.
forgot about Stephen Matz,
Yeah.
too. Matz is going in the bullpen unless somebody wants to take his contract.
That one might be easier to do than shifting Miles Michaelis. to-
Miles Michaelis, I'm telling you what, I'm John Mozeliak. You know, on my computer, I sent an email to every team in the league saying Miles Michaelis is available. We will retain 50% of the salary.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then when they counter with 75%, you say deal.
Done.
We get a text from 314. Fetty is who Michaelis was supposed to be. I think that checks out.
I think that's fair.
So 100% accurate.
Fetty's got more upside. That's why he's kind of like fast lane fine.
It's totally fast.
Where you're just like, all right, I don't hate it. No, I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Kind of the same trajectory as Michaelis as well.
Yes.
Going overseas,
Yep.
coming back,
Yep.
kind of reinvigorating
You're right.
himself.
He's got kind of that.
And yeah, Michaelis was fine in his early years with St. Louis, so maybe Fetty can do that, and
Sure.
you only have him for 1 more year, and then maybe you move on to the young guys who are ready to go.
All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 213. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We are live inside the Anheuser-Busch.
Obviously, we're live.
We are on remote. If you're hearing some of the background noise, we apologize. That's not us. That's something going on here at the brewery.
Anthony is not gassy today.
No. I might be later, but not now.
You're going to be hammered right into that cushion of that chair, too, aren't you?
Just listen. It's not when you do it. It's when you get up.
When does
And then the flu fits.
what is the like? What do you think of fart mixed with like that beer smell, that brewery smell? Because obviously there's a certain smell here when
You
you
know
walk
what?
into the brewery. What do you think that smells like?
I think if we walk in that restaurant an hour and a half from now,
Yeah.
we'll probably get a sample.
Okay.
What do I think
The
it smells like?
fun of the beer.
Both together.
Both.
The
Oh,
combo.
it's a mixture.
There's no way some of these guys over here that
Oh, sure.
wolfing down the beer all day.
Yeah.
The beer farts.
And now they're diving into some of the good food here too.
So it goes from the beer garden to the beer fart.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I see what you did there.
You're welcome.
You proud of that one?
I'm kind of proud of it.
Okay,
Yeah, not bad.
that was good. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So yesterday I said, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he can't move, he stinks. And then he spent the majority of the game last night moving around just fine.
He was like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. He oiled up all his joints.
At least for one night. It was as if he wanted to make me and Robert Salah eat our
How about
words.
that interesting encounter with him and Robert Salah?
We're getting to that. Apparently it was nothing. Didn't look like nothing.
Weird.
But the Jets look good, so did Aaron Rodgers. I'll eat a little crow next on 101 ESPN. Thank you, Jody.
Thanks, Bradford.
So is that just the speakers?
I think they must be tapping into the PA.
They are. They're setting up outside.
Or are they? And they're trying to tap in there, and whatever they're trying, it's not working.
But in-house, they can turn those
But
on.
I don't know why they can't turn it off.
Exactly.
Yeah, as soon as I heard it, I'm going, oh, it's just what I need. Let me figure out
It's
my.
always something, man.
Let's see.
Yeah. When I first put those on,
I thought Drew. I thought Drew.
You didn't see
Which
that.
headset were you? Which headset were you using for this?
I was using that one. I don't even know. Honestly, Jody, I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, we're talking about here. This one too.
Is that one working now? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
I know.
Okay.
I throw it.
Yeah, but I am. But you're looking back. You got the station looking back to us. Oh, I'm sorry. You got the station moving back. Sorry about that. I was potting down. The station is quiet back to us. So, okay. So we're on. And if that's the case, I'll put it in YouTube. So I'm checking that. You can use whichever one you want. All right, go to work.
I think his concern was that when he talks, no one can hear him. So he's just not.
But it's working out.
No, I'm saying when we're live, like when he say he was chiming in the lineup game, they can't hear him. So he's wondering
On YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So I didn't know if you.
It comes right, comes off the board. Okay,
I couldn't
I'll
hear
take it.
myself either.
You're talking about now or then?
Then, I don't know about now.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's then. Okay.
He's this guy.
Nick, are you just trying to walk around and flex the guns here today?
That's why I wore this. That's why he
Jesus.
walks next to me.
Yeah. You walk around in front of him, you make it look like he's your bodyguard.
That's what it is.
Follow me after the show. I probably know who's working. I know that's going out live.
That's Jamie Rivers. That's Andrew Marsh.
I'm trying to figure out
Stalter.
my headset here.
Yeah.
It works finally, so thank you to our guy Doty for fixing things in the break. and whatnot.
Yeah, Dodie Rallman, our engineer here at Budweiser Busch Brewery for the Blues kickoff event. It's going on tonight, 7 o'clock. The tickets are on sale until 3, so you'll make sure you scoop up some tickets. Go to 101ESPN.com if you're looking for ticket information. So last night, or yesterday during the show, I was saying how, Aaron Rodgers can't move anymore, looks completely immobile.
Where were you wrong?
Looked pretty good last night, moved around just fine, inside and outside of the pocket. As soon as he took off for about 5 yards and then slid on the first drive of the game, I go, I'm going to be wrong tonight. And I was. 27-35, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks against the Patriots. I'll stop short of saying that was vintage Aaron Rodgers. But look,
Settle down.
that was as good as he has played.
In a year?
Certainly, yeah. Certainly in the last 3 games, but I mean like going even back to maybe even the second half of this final Green Bay year. Like he looked sharp, and he looked like somebody that was utilizing all of his weapons. You know, the first touchdown pass that he threw to Alan Lazard. He even had a couple of nice back shoulder throws to Mike Williams that couldn't be completed. He threw the 1 touchdown to Garrett Wilson. Like, Aaron Rodgers looked good. If that's the version that the Jets are going to get week in and week out, then they're at the very least a wild card contender.
Yeah. How much of it do we think was Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and how much of it do we think that maybe the market with the Patriots is correcting itself?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, the Patriots, they played very well in Cincinnati week 1,
But
they gave
again, did
Seattle.
Cincinnati play terrible? I'm not trying to discredit the Patriots. I'm not. Obviously, if there's anybody that wants to give them some credit, it's me.
you.
But I have a hard time believing that they were that good against the Bengals and then, giving up 24 to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
I think Aaron Rodgers looked really good,
I'm not taking that away.
regardless of the opponent.
Why are you defending him?
I know. It doesn't feel right.
I'm so confused.
It
right
doesn't
now.
feel right, but I have to just say it. I have to say what I saw, Jamie.
But you don't look like you believe what you're saying.
No, I do. It's just I'm trying not to also vomit while I say
Okay,
it.
I can see
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to keep
I
it
did
down.
notice an extra little salivation.
Yeah.
I thought it's just because you like the way I look today, but it's not.
No, it's both can be true.
Both can be true.
I like the way you look, but I'm also trying not to vomit while talking well of Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
But he did. He looked good. I like the way that he performed. I don't want to.
Yeah.
First of all, I wanted a game last night. Didn't get that.
No.
And we didn't get that because I thought Aaron Rodgers looked 10 times what Jacoby Brissett looked. I mean, Brissett didn't even throw for 100 yards.
And I think what's more impressive about
He's terrible.
that Jets team is I believe they played 3 games in 11 days.
And 2 on the road.
Yeah, so
2 on the road.
That's pretty
short rest.
impressive.
That is very impressive. Now, in Jacoby Brissett's his defense, most of his offensive line was out. I mean, the whole left side I think was out, and the Jets just did whatever they wanted.
Well, the Patriots aren't a good team.
No,
I think the
they're
first
not.
2 weeks was something where we're like, oh, hey, the Patriots might be okay. They're not good. The wide receivers had less than 100 yards through 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have any weapons. Other than Ramondre Stevenson, who do they have?
So that's what happened last night. Ramondre Stevenson, they didn't really get going early on. They had to ditch him because they were down 14-0 early.
Exactly.
And then that was it. The Patriots are a team that is bad and has to play from in front. Like the Cowboys are a pretty good team. They have to play from in front. Mm-hmm. The Patriots absolutely have to do that because they're just not good. But giving credit where credit is due, again, I thought Rodgers played well. And I don't think it was just a byproduct of the Patriots. Now, can we get into the Robert Salah, Aaron Rodgers?
You know what that was?
That was weird.
Spicy.
That was spicy. Yeah. So,
Why are you disgusted with me?
You're trying to make spicy a thing.
But
It's like the word fetch.
But we confirmed it with my 24-year-old daughter what it meant.
Yeah, but we didn't get a real confirmation. That was like, kind of use it, kind of don't.
But now it's what we make of it, Andrew.
That's
if you
fair.
support me in this cause, I will support you in your future causes.
Okay. All right. We'll make spicy a thing.
There we go.
We'll make spicy a thing.
So what happened last night between Rodgers and Salah was absolutely spicy.
It was.
When Rodgers returned to the sideline following a touchdown run, he slapped hands with Salah, right? Then Salah kind of moved in for an embrace, right?
Bro hug.
He wanted a bro hug
Yeah.
with his quarterback. And Rodgers said, not up in here.
Put his hand up on the chest.
Yeah.
Give him a look like a
Gave the
angry
look.
dad.
Yeah,
the look was the one thing
Said
that-
something
yeah.
to
It
him.
was a stare down after. Like,
Yeah.
Like
And then as he's kind of walking away, he's also staring
Yeah.
at him. Like it's way too early to celebrate.
I don't know what that was. Or how about get away from me, dude? You've been up my backside for 3 weeks now, and now you're like, you're my buddy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
Or maybe
clearly-
he had horrible breath, too. It's all in play.
They clearly don't have matching tattoos. They never went rollerblading together.
No.
Yeah, no tramp stamp or belly button
No,
not at
tattoos
all.
for those
Yeah.
guys.
So this is what Aaron Rodgers said after the game. He said he's not a big hugger, being Robert Salah. He's not a big hugger usually, so I didn't know he was going in for a hug. He likes to do that two-handed chest push as well. He talks a lot about 2-score leads, so I kind of gave him a push and said 2-score lead. Maybe.
I gave him a push to get away from me.
Maybe. You know, I could kind of see that, like 2-score lead, but it was the look that he gave him. It wasn't like a 2-score. Like sometimes Jamie and I will get after each other, and then we'll kind of give each other a look like, you know,
Anthony,
still love you.
if I gave you that look, like Aaron Rodgers gave to Robert Salah,
Yeah.
and let's say we're going back and forth, it's getting a little testy.
Sure.
And I stop and I just give you that look for an extended period of time, I don't think you're going to think that we're still having fun.
No, not at all.
And if you did the same thing to me, I'd be like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
I just crossed a line, or
I pushed a button.
Something here, like
Something's going on.
It wasn't just a quick, like stern look. It was the extended look and like no reaction.
Correct. I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
Like there's obviously some bad
there
blood.
was something there, man.
It kind of reminded me of the Nick Sirianni thing a few years ago when he was like celebrating, and I can't remember if it was Jalen Hurts or another player or whoever it was. It might have been Jalen Hurts, but he was kind of like, hey, yo, like let's calm down here for a second. Like let's not get too ahead of ourselves. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Maybe the text line can help me out with that specific situation. But I think it says something that the player is telling the head coach to kind of calm down in a sense.
Yeah.
Even if, like, it ended up being nothing, what he said, though, is, like, kind of alarming in the sense that your head coach is too excited because your team actually scored.
Right.
And, like, your team's winning, something that they haven't done before.
I don't mind the emotion. That team,
I get it.
That team, since Robert Salah has been there, like, I don't say he's been given a crap sandwich, but he lost his quarterback last year. He had to ride it out with Zach Wilson and whoever else applied for a job online.
Right.
And
Yeah. They were taking
civil for that matter, even though the Patriots are a lesser team. I think it's okay for a coach to show emotion from time to time. Do I think it's okay for a coach to go over the top every single time? No. You need to show some composure. And the water boy, Anthony, brings up a good point here, too. It says, Rodgers said, rule number 1, don't look at me in the eyes.
We've talked about this, Robert.
Yeah.
You don't look at me in the eyes.
He's channeling his inner Anthony Stalter.
He is, certainly. I'll say this, and we could just call it what it is because we're doing the armchair, therapist thing here. But
Don't talk to us like that. We're very qualified in these moments.
all right, let's hug.
Get away from
Giving you the look.
Yeah.
I'm giving you Rodgers look now.
Fair. To me, what that was all about was it's Aaron Rodgers' team, which it means it's going to be Aaron Rodgers' mess if they don't do anything. Because it's been
agree.
like the franchise sold out for Aaron Rodgers, like, please be our savior. And then he got the Achilles torn last year. He was kind of aloof again this offseason. And, then he does that with the head coach. They're not on the same page. It's Aaron Rodgers' boat, man.
But I still don't like it. I've been a part of teams where that's happened. So no shocker here. Brett Hull and Mike Keenan. That stuff happened. Holly would tell him to go fast lane himself, and Mike would yell back. And you could tell there was absolutely no love between these two individuals whatsoever.
Yeah.
And what happened to our team? We didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
We were good. We were unbelievable. Maybe the most talented team in the NHL that one year. We lost out to the Red Wings. Now, they had a very talented team, too, but there was always friction somehow.
Sure.
And it doesn't work. So, as a leader, though, like if Aaron Rodgers, if it is his team, you suck it up in that moment, and then you quietly talk to the coach like practice today or
Right.
tomorrow and be like, hey, Robert, we can't do that. These young guys, they got to know that you're dialed in and that whatever we're doing is never enough.
Right.
Like the Bill Belichick. You can have some emotion, but it's never enough. Like, let's keep going. Let's keep playing because we have to let them know that we're not satisfied.
Right.
And then you have a little conversation and you go from there. You build a relationship that way. And that way the locker room doesn't feel like, I'm taking Aaron's side or I'm taking
Right.
Robert's side.
Right. Who am I going to follow, the dad or the stepdad? I don't know. That's basically what it is.
You know who might have been satisfied after a good week 2? Learn from the Rizzuto show.
So,
I heard it this morning.
I didn't know this. Marsh, you and I think had the exact same reaction.
Yeah.
But I was just making sure that everybody got, because you were joking yesterday about taking the page.
No, I had him. I flipped it.
Okay. Either way, I'm looking at it. All right, BK had the Jets. Marsh had the Jets. I had the Jets. Moon had the Jets. Jamie Rivers had the Jets. King Scott had the Jets. Rafe had the Jets. Riz had the Jets. Carey Davis had the Jets. I'm like, everybody had it. Oh, my God. Learn of the Patriots.
You know what Lauren's guilty of?
One.
Know what she's guilty of?
That upset. She got that upset fever.
She got the Falcons last week.
Yeah.
And she even talked about it on the air today. She was like, I just, I had that one. I tried it again. And she's like, oh, I won't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. They brought up something about us again today.
Of course.
Well, Moon, of course. Shocker. Apparently one of their listeners, one of their weirdos, God love them, they are dedicated, listened to our podcast from yesterday and said at 4107, they're talking about exchanging passwords and usernames.
Oh, my gosh.
So Moon's like, well, is that allowed? Can they make other people's picks? And Riz is like, well, we never talked about it. It's not a rule. Now Riz goes, no, it's unethical.
Oh, boy.
Meanwhile, by the way, we didn't make any picks.
No, we
Carey
didn't.
Davis got his picks in.
Yeah, Jamie was kind of joking about send us your, email and stuff so we don't. He never did that.
No.
Okay, Carey, go ahead and send us your bank codes and things like that.
I did ask
that
him his
works.
mother's maiden name and what street he grew up on.
Yeah, that's just common knowledge, though, that you want to have for your friends.
It's good basic knowledge.
Absolutely.
That's how you build a relationship.
Absolutely. Rodgers and Salah should
They should
figure that out.
exchange that information.
All right, we have what's trending. Next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN Live from the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. We've got the Blues event going on, the kickoff to the season event going on. We've got tickets until 3 o'clock today, so make sure you go to 101ESPN.com to purchase your tickets. Come on down. Blues alumni will be here. Blues players, also Braden Chen, expect to be here. Head coach Drew Bannister expected to be here. It's going to be a fun night at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Now, Marshy, what do you got for what's trending?
All right, so one of the topics that we've been talking about lately is Bryce Young, who is now benched, and he is a young quarterback who has been struggling in Carolina. Another quarterback who also struggled in Carolina was Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield has had a strong start to this season, and he was asked about Bryce Young and essentially, you know, how tough it is playing in Carolina with not a lot of pieces around him. This is what Baker Mayfield had to say about Bryce Young.
Obviously, mine didn't happen in the same time frame with Bryce, but quarterback's hard, especially for young guys, when you're not surrounded with the pieces that you're not given the opportunity to have success. And so that's a lot of the time guys have the talent, they might have the brains, but they don't have the right opportunity, the right fit. I mean, I'm sitting here right now in a way better fit than the other places I've been. And that's not to put other teams down, but it's a matter of the pieces around you, the coaches, and for Bryce, a guy that, you know, I can relate to this, finding that belief within yourself again, and he'll get it. His story is far, far from finished.
So when you hear that from Baker Mayfield, he's a guy that I mean, he went through this. I think that he ultimately had to basically go through the highs and lows of being an NFL quarterback, and he experienced a ton of lows. And you could argue that if he doesn't make that pass for the LA Rams, that he might not be a starting quarterback in the NFL right now. So he's experienced this, especially with Carolina. But, I mean, just for some of these quarterbacks, like, how do you think that teams should operate when it comes to these young QBs that are coming out of college? And we've talked about this before. I don't know if the college game is necessarily preparing them for the NFL.
No, they're not. No, when you're thinking about college coaches right now, let's be fair. Let's be fair to college coaches, okay? These guys have to recruit. They now have to deal with the NIL. They have to make sure that they're active in the transfer portal, not only to ensure that they're getting new guys to come in to their program, but also they're not exiting, right? You're making a lot of money. You also have high expectations for the program. You're trying not to get fired. You're trying to win games. Even though college football is a feeder system to the NFL, it's not as if.
Well, it's also the only system.
It is the only. Right, exactly.
So let's not act like it's set up to feed the NFL.
Right. It's a feeder system, but it is not on-job training.
Correct.
Yeah, you're not. If you're Bryce Young at Alabama, Nick Saban is not preparing you for, to play quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, right? He's preparing you to be the best quarterback you can be. This is just my opinion, guys, but to me, too many teams worry about getting that weapon for their young quarterback as opposed to concentrating on whether or not they have the right system. I talk about this all the time because of Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh knew his system, and then he got the quarterback, Joe Montana, to fit that system. Joe Montana may not have thrived in other areas, in other systems. Mm-hmm. He may not have thrived in Eric Coryell's system, which is vertical.
Yeah.
What he did do is he thrived in Bill Walsh's system, which horizontal, accurate ball placement, get the ball on Jerry Rice's left shoulder when he's running that route, precision, touchdown. Like, you have got to find the right system to match that quarterback. Baker Mayfield probably wasn't in the right system in Carolina. Mm-hmm. He gets to L.A., he's got some success when he has the opportunity with Sean McVay, and his offensive coordinator now is Liam Cohen, who ran Sean McVay's offense.
Yeah.
He's in the right system. Mm-hmm. This isn't by accident, but we like to say, oh, he's got Mike Evans and he's got Chris Godwin. It helps. It helps, but that was later.
Right.
He's got to be in the right system first. So is Bryce Young in the right system in Carolina? Probably not. Does Bryce Young have weapons around him? No. Does he have a good defense? No. Does he have an offense? No. How the hell does anybody expect this kid to succeed?
Right.
This has been my argument for the last 2 weeks, Anthony. Not my argument, my opinion.
Yeah.
is that these quarterbacks get picked so high, and we know why, because that team stinks.
Right.
And then they take these prolific quarterbacks from college, and they drop them into a team that stinks, and here's your results.
Save us, please.
Yeah, and let's make another thing clear, too. The college system is not there to prepare them for the NFL.
No.
Guess what? I'm going to say something shocking. They don't care.
Right.
They care about winning football games so that they continue to get donations and NIL money and their contracts. Nick Saban's $20 million a year coaching Alabama on the shoulders of kids like Bryce Young, who he doesn't care about after they leave the program. I don't mean like as an individual, because I'm sure that there's a lot of great relationships. I'm not saying anybody's a jerk. I'm just saying that once they move him on, like, he's no longer the coach, so he doesn't really care.
He's not focused on their not that he's focused on their career, but like he's
There's
more.
some things that translate, but it's
Yeah.
not like he's
He's more focused on the guys that are in front of him that he is coaching.
But what you said, too, it's not like Nick Saban is sitting there drawing up the playbook going, okay, odds are the Carolina Panthers are going to have the first pick.
Right.
I want to make sure I have an offense similar to them. I'm going to call their coach, and we're going to run that offense so that Bryce Young's ready for Carolina.
Right.
Said nobody ever, by the way. This is why I go back to it, and I don't know how to build it, but the NFL needs a league, a feeder system, not college football. Like, I've been harping on the UFL, the Battlehawks League. Is it ideal? No, but don't you think a kid like Bryce Young playing in a good program, let's say he played for the Battlehawks, it's a good team, good coach, NFL coach, all that stuff. He gets reps against guys who are bubble players.
Yeah.
That could be NFL call-ups or whatever, but better than college players. Give him a year there. Let him play. And then bring him back to the big team and then see where he's at in training camp. Don't just throw him into the fire when he has absolutely no protection or help.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting if the NFL did what the NHL does, and where you draft a player and then they go to college or then they play at junior hockey. Then you get to essentially have a hand in their development while they're at university or wherever they're going. Right? I think that would be interesting. It'll never happen.
That would be so tough for football.
It would.
Imagine all the high school football quarterbacks that are out there that are dominating people.
For sure.
And you'd pick a kid that you think is awesome, he gets to college and he can't play, let alone the NFL.
Like Spencer Rattler. Like, is he really going to be an NFL quarterback?
Probably not.
Probably not. He was okay in college, and then, he at Oklahoma, he ended up getting his job taken away by Caleb Williams.
Right.
But he was supposed to be the dude in Oklahoma, and he was fine at South Carolina.
Right.
But
look, here's the other thing, too. Bryce Young might not be an NFL quarterback. All right, I fully recognize that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that just because you find the right system for the kid and you put a little stuff around, that all of a sudden he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. He still might not succeed. But you got to give him a shot. You can't tell me that he's not going to be an NFL quarterback or a good NFL quarterback as much as I can tell you he is.
Who, Bryce Young?
Yeah, we don't know.
Baker Mayfield, the guy who started this segment for us.
Yes. Right.
People were like, that guy stinks.
I was one of them. Yeah.
I think everybody was,
like,
except for maybe Baker Mayfield.
He can't see. He's not good on third downs. He's not good in the red zone.
He's high risk.
Then he gets the right system. Everything kind of settles in. He may not win a Super Bowl. He may not get to a Super Bowl, but that's a franchise quarterback again.
Well, and he's proving it.
Yes.
And I think the problem, and it reminds me of the Cardinals, where the Cardinals look at a team like Arizona. Well, Arizona, they were the last seed in the wild card, and they made it to the World Series. Carolina could be looking at Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Well, they didn't have an offensive line. They went to the Super Bowl. Maybe Bryce Young could be Joe Burrow.
Right.
He was in college, essentially. Mm-hmm. He was the guy. He's the number one pick. It doesn't work like that.
Well, the other thing I think we overlooked, though, is that Joe Burrow did not have a good offensive line. He did have a defense, though. Yeah. If you notice, I didn't jump right to Jamar Chase, right? I jumped to the defense.
Yeah.
Because if the defense can get the ball back, opportunistic, he's in the right system under Taylor, all right. O-line, you got to get the ball out quickly. Why is Tua in the right system? His offensive line sucks, too. But Mike McDaniel gets that ball out quickly, and Tua's accurate. They marry together, and then you can start to add. But he's got Tyreek. Yeah, he does. He does have Tyreek. Yep, and he's got Jalen Waddle. Yes, he's in the right system first and foremost. So if the Panthers don't figure out what system it best suits Bryce Young, he's going to be someplace else, and then maybe the kid will have a shot. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Hey, surprise, Dom, our guy Dom Lecision from The Athletic.
What now?
Well, he's fading the blues again. We'll tell you why next on 101 ESPN.
Good Lord.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We're live at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Still some time left, but time is dwindling. We've got tickets available. Go to 101ESPN.com. Come on down. Kick off the Blues season at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. There's going to be all kinds of people down here tonight. Blues alumni like our very own Jamie Rivers. Current Blues players like Braden Shen and Philip Broberg. And Blues coach Drew Bannister.
Yep.
So it's going to be a fun event. We got a street party going on. Charles Glenn Group's going to be here. Matt Stell's going to be performing. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. What's not fun is to go to the Athletic sometimes and read our guy Dom Lucian.
Oh, yeah.
Because he is
Mr. Make up his own category.
he's often not a fan of our St. Louis Blues. So he made predictions here. The best win totals. Who to ride, so who to follow.
That was nice of him.
Who to fade. And believe it or not, guys, he's fading our Blues.
Oh.
Under 86.5 points.
Meanwhile, the team had
no
93
playoffs.
last year.
Yeah, that's correct. He's saying they're going to get
Dom
worse.
said the same thing last year. He said under 87 points for the Blues.
Yeah.
Well, at least he bumped it up. Maybe we'll make the playoffs this year because of him.
Well, he says no playoffs.
Oh.
Yeah, for the Blues, no playoffs. 6% chance he's got him to make the playoffs. Death, taxes, and my model, doubting the Blues. At least he's self-aware. You got to give him
Well, I
that.
think enough people have told him how sick we are of his crap.
At least he listens to people to make himself self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
All
I
right.
still one day I will meet Dom. I'm not going to be rude or anything. I don't think. Depends how he answers me. I'm just going to ask him, like, what is your model for this? Like, what's your algorithm?
Yeah.
Because it's just like anything else. You can cherry pick certain numbers to make something look really good.
Oh, absolutely.
Or highlight other numbers and make things look really bad.
Yep.
Like Dom's the guy that's every year dogs on Jordan Binnington. And like, what are you doing, Dom? Pick a fight that you can win.
Well, how about this sentence? If not for an out-of-nowhere renaissance from Jordan Binnington, things would have been a lot worse for the Blues last year.
Out of
Out-of-nowhere renaissance.
Dom, have you seen Jordan Binnington's body of work? Never mind the 18-19 season in the Stanley Cup championship
Right.
that he won.
Fluke, according to Dom.
The next year, he had 30 wins
Right.
before they went into the bubble.
Yeah. Everybody seems to like Jordan Binnington detractors, and there's very few of them, but they're out there. Seem to forget that. Like, oh, one season is a fluke. He was fantastic going into that bubble.
It was great.
They don't like him because he shows emotion on the ice.
which is-
and he threw a water bottle, and they don't like him.
Dom,
But he cleaned it up a lot last year.
He
too.
did.
But
Oh,
he
for
also
sure.
made a very conscious effort to do that. And Doug Armstrong talked about how they had talked about changing the narrative a little bit there.
Sure.
Because I remember playing against guys like Ed Belfour and Dominic Hasek.
Yeah.
And our mission was be like, the first shift of the game, somebody fall on him.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. Fall on them, make them so irate to get off their game. You know, spend the rest of the game trying to slash guys and stuff.
Belfour broke a stick over the
He did.
the goalpost.
But
Should have been standing there.
Here's what I don't like. Here's where Dom fails. Okay? Never mind his algorithms and what the algorithm is what it is. But here, if you're going to stick to the numbers, then let the numbers be your argument. What happens to Dom is he has the numbers for his argument, but then he has emotions towards certain players. And he does not like Jordan Binnington. Dom is more of a softer person, right? He doesn't like the
Big guy, or
no, he doesn't like the mean stuff. Doesn't like the mean stuff. And you go on, you can see his tweets, and every time there's a big fight or something, no, this is terrible. Okay, Dom, I get it. That's fine. Okay?
Need
Go
to
back
pick
to
a
your
new
mother's
sport.
basement. You're fine.
Whoa, I'm sure he's got his own place by now.
I doubt it. But anyways, so he has the numbers
Yeah.
present an argument that he, look, he's not good. There's the numbers that he cherry picks, by the way. But then he has the emotion side of it because he doesn't like. Now his personal feelings come into it. So that what that does is it discredits the algorithm at that point.
Right.
Because if you're going to be the numbers guy, because that's what he says, he tries to tell Blues fans all the time, it's not my opinion, it's my numbers. This is my formula. Okay, but then you can't say on Twitter and in interviews and things when you're on podcasts, because he's done that before, say, I just don't like Jordan Binnington's antics. What are the numbers on Jordan Binnington's antics? There are none. So then why are you talking about it? If you're the numbers guy, be the numbers guy.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me.
I think that's pretty fair because
Yeah.
numbers, analytics, whatever. It's supposed to be. There's not supposed to be bias.
Right.
You're extracting the
But
bias.
but what it does discredits numbers because now it feels like he's cherry picking certain numbers because of his emotions.
Yeah.
So just let the numbers do the work, and if that's what you live and die by, great, fine.
Yeah.
But don't give me your opinion and your emotions after that.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah, he ends up saying the Blues did make some intriguing additions during the summer that might shake things up.
Do it.
But it feels like last
No.
What?
But
It feels like last season was closer to a false bounce than anything real.
false bounce.
Yeah, false bounce. 31-18 under Drew Bannister after he got hired. Yeah, that's false.
False bounce. This Don.
Pretty much.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're live at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. So the Guardians are in town. Pretty good team.
Yeah, they are.
Made the playoffs. How? How did they do it with Jose Ramirez and a long pause? How did they build a roster like this with virtual unknowns, again, outside of a handful of players, and do what the Cardinals and other teams cannot do? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Busch Stadium. The Guardians, guys, if you just look at the Cleveland Guardians roster, you probably wouldn't take their roster over the Cardinals, believe it or not. Now, that might sound –
Well, I would. That's a playoff team.
Well, I was going to get there, Jamie. That
Oh,
may sound
sorry.
asinine. That might sound
What's your
asinine.
comment?
Oh, not you, Jamie.
Oh,
no,
okay.
yeah, my comment. That, you know, you look at the fact that the Guardians are celebrating last night their entrance into the postseason. You're like, well, boy, that's a dumb comment. However, if you look outside of Jose Ramirez, there's not a ton of guys that you know. Josh Naylor, maybe. You're a baseball. You're a big time baseball fan. You probably know who Josh Naylor is. His brother Bo Naylor is also on the team. Who else? Who else do you look at? Noel has had a pretty good, interesting season. You're a Cardinals fan. You know who Lane Thomas is. They acquired him from the Nationals at the deadline. But this is not an overwhelming team.
Stephen Kwan as well.
Sure.
But even him,
like, yeah. I mean, if you're talking to
Guys, these aren't household names.
exactly, if you're talking to like diehard baseball fans who don't know who they are, right?
Yeah.
And you have Clase, but he's a closer.
Sure. So, how were the Guardians able to make it to the postseason with a largely roster that is filled with no names
And new manager.
and the Cardinals aren't able to do it? You can't just claim the division.
No,
You know what I mean?
it's a legit division this year.
Because
In years past, it's been suspect.
Minnesota's challenged it. Kansas City's legit. Detroit has at least been improved. They've got 80 wins this season.
Mm-hmm.
The Detroit Tigers have 3 more wins than the Cardinals do. So you can't just say it was the division. For me, it's a situation where, we talk so much about identity. This is why. The Guardians know who they are. They know they're not going to outpower you. They know they have to put the ball into play consistently and they get on base. They basically have, outside of Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor, a bunch of Brendan Donovans. You're gonna have to throw a lot of pitches to beat them. Because if not, they'll take their walks or they'll take their singles. They'll get on base. I don't even want to call it small ball because it's not like they're bunting a whole bunch. It's just they move runners over, they do their thing, and they get good pitching. When you hear about that, it's like that should be the formula to success for any team. But
What do you think?
how many teams, like maybe the Cardinals, are trying to, I don't know, outthink the process here, doing what the Guardians are doing? Trying to emulate what the Cardinals.
But I don't think you have to emulate what the Guardians are doing. I think the Guardians are just playing. They're maximizing what they have as a team. So they've identified in the offseason or spring training, okay, we're not going to be a big bopping team. So therefore, let's build our lineup accordingly and let's play old school baseball. Put the ball in play, good speed on the bases. Let's make sure we're sound defensively. We're pitching well. Like the fundamentals have to go to the top of the food chain when you have a team that is not blessed with just that power or that superstar guy that's going to come in and light it up for you.
Right.
So I think the smartest thing they did is identify what they are and then leaned into it.
I agree.
And that's where the Cardinals, what did they ever identify as a team? Like
They still haven't.
I guess maybe it. So let's back it up. I'm sure the Cardinals thought going into this season they were going to get 25 to 30 home runs from both Arenado and Goldie. Mm-hmm. They're probably going to get 25-ish home runs from Contreras. Probably 25 to 30 from Gorman. Probably 20 to 25 from Walker. I know that sounds crazy now, but going into this season,
Right.
that's probably what their expectations were. But then when all of that kind of fell to the wayside,
Yeah.
they had no pivot,
Right.
which it's not entirely their fault, because when you have players that just underperform, that especially guys like Arenado and Goldschmidt, where the back of the baseball card tells you they should be hitting, if nothing else, 20 to 25 home runs. Or more. And Goldie's still in that range.
Right.
As crazy as it sounds, Goldie still might hit 25 home runs this year.
Okay, so one would then argue
Yeah.
that wasn't the problem. And I'm with you, Jamie.
Yeah, but it is because Gorman didn't do it, Walker didn't do it, Arenado didn't do it.
Okay.
So, and Contreras didn't do it. So you got 4 guys who were supposed to have 20-plus home runs.
Yep. So to your point, though, initially,
Mm-hmm.
the Cardinals identified we're going to be about Goldie and Arenado. We'll be fine.
No, I think they were about that they had so much power in their lineup.
Right.
Because I remember them talking about this is the first team in a long time we've had so much power.
Yeah, you don't.
You didn't.
Like,
No.
where did that thought process come from? Because last year was so bad that we just thought, oh, yeah, let's fix the pitch. Or not we. They thought, we'll just fix the pitching, everything will be fine. Their offense was
Bingo.
not that great last year. Like, yeah, you could find some numbers, would cherry pick some numbers and be like, okay, yeah, they were fine, whatever. Like, they're, probably top 15 in a couple categories.
Yeah.
Yo, the runners in scoring position, like, it just seems from the naked eye like nothing changed.
But Marsh, you just nailed it. I think the Cardinals were just so happy with the fact that they improved from where they were a year ago with the pitching staff that there wasn't a lot of thought to how are we constructing this roster. Marsh, you just got done saying, you're right, but you just got done saying, like, the offense wasn't that good last year. Here, this, that, and the other, and you brought up some stats, runners in the scoring position, things like that. That tells us nothing about who they are as a team. It really doesn't.
Right.
So there's this mentality like, well, if we just improve from where we were a year ago, we're going to be good. No, you're not. You haven't identified how you win games. You don't know how you lose games. This is the fact that they are 77 and 76 is the most predictable thing. And we all overlooked it. We being here, like our show, all right? Because there's Cardinals fans that have said, look, I still don't think the team's that improved. And we all did. We kind of had a wait-and-see mode, but we all picked the Cardinals to win the NL Central. Why? Because they're the Cardinals, and they fixed some of the stuff that they had in the offseason. But them being 77 and 76 is perfect. That was predictable. We do some things well and other things not so well. And
Let me ask you this.
you're not built to be a winner.
Let me ask you this, and this is off topic. It just sparked something in my brain. If the Cardinals finish one game above 500 this year, behind closed doors, is the front office happy? Because they had this whole thing about not finishing under 500 for 2 years in a row since like the 50s or something like that, right? I think there are 50 years. I don't know.
Maybe it's a sigh of relief, but I don't know if they're happy.
Yeah.
And if even if it is just a sigh of relief.
How many wins did they have last year? 71?
Let's see. Even if it's just a sigh of relief, though, you're still not considering what the actual problem is. They had 71.
71 wins last year, and they've got, what, 77 right now. Let's say they go 500 the rest of the way. That's another, 4 or 5 wins-ish?
Yeah.
I think the Cardinals are happy behind closed doors. I think they're satisfied. Now, they're pissed that the attendance took a beating and things like that, but maybe I'm way off.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm even thinking it, is that problematic?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that works if you head into the season saying the things that Doug Armstrong and the Blues are saying. Like, then you can be, okay, yeah, we made progress. Like, we have a better record than what we did last year. But that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, we're going to be fighting for the division and blah, blah, blah. We got a good team.
Right.
You were in last place last year.
And what exactly?
Like, how often does that happen where you go from last to first? Doesn't happen all the time.
What did they identify as a pitching staff?
This year?
Yeah.
Innings.
What did they? Thank you.
Really? And honestly,
that's your identity.
Honestly, they didn't even.
They didn't even do
They
that.
didn't even do that.
No, we were
Which is
talking
a
early in
separate-
the season about the bullpen was already being stressed.
Right. So that's a separate conversation, though. The fact that they didn't even accomplish that, but that's your identity.
Yeah, I don't.
We got guys that can eat innings.
Eating innings.
What the hell are
to
we
me,
doing here?
Eating innings doesn't equate to quality innings.
Right.
Like we're eating innings. Okay, that, it almost has like a negative connotation to it.
Yeah.
Does
A
it
bit.
not? Like we're eating innings. Okay, that just means you have pitchers that are going out there who are probably giving up 4 runs, but they're going to go 6, 7 innings maybe because they can eat innings.
I would have rather the Cardinals come out and say, yeah, you know what? You remember the 2015 Royals, 2016 Royals? We're going to try to emulate that. That's what we're going to try to do. And or maybe it's 14, 15 Royals. But that's what we're going to do.
Yes, solid
We're
bullpen.
going to get to the fifth. We love our bullpen. You get to the 5th inning,
Game over.
good luck. Like if they came out and said that and they loaded up their pen and they gave everybody the middle finger and just said, hey, in the back end, good luck trying to win these games. I would have, even if it didn't work, I'd be like, hey, they had a philosophy, they had an identity, they went with it.
To me,
But
you're right.
innings?
Well, this year, too, it's almost they just threw a bunch of players together and said, well, their resumes seem pretty good.
Yes.
Should work.
It's better than it was last year.
And it
So
was,
that's
though.
what
Which is
kind
a
of spurred
pretty
my
small.
thought. That spurred my thought.
Yeah, like they met
initially,
their goal.
As if like, okay, we accomplished because we were better than last year.
Well, get the fast lane out of here then.
Yeah.
I think this team, their identity, which we believe that they don't even have one, it's changed, though, throughout the year, especially when we talk about the offense. Like, the offense, for a little bit, it was, well, we're going to platoon everybody because we can't hit lefties, so, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And it's like, when you have all of these identities, you don't have one.
Correct.
And that's been their problem. And that's the thing with platooning. And we talk about it all the time. How do you know what a player is if you don't give them the runway to fail and then get back on their feet and then find success?
Marsh, what you just said is why you just answered the question to why can't these guys figure out which players to play? Why are some players having success elsewhere?
Yeah.
Exactly what you just said.
Because they get to play.
We're letting the runway. This is what I'm talking about with
They don't
opportunities.
have the tight cheeks either. You get the tight cheeks when you get pulled out of the
Here's
game
your
all the
opportunity.
time.
Right.
You're our guy now.
Yeah.
The Yankees literally, Luke Voigt, you're our guy. Oh, okay, sounds good. We're gonna hit you right in the middle. You're gonna hit in the middle of Stanton and Judge. You're our guy, fourth hitter. Just hit home runs.
And
okay.
then we're going to move on from you when
you stink,
when you are not good.
or we improve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like our rosters improve. We don't need Luke. You've been fantastic. Chest hair looks good, brother. We're moving on. You know.
We wear sleeves in this
We
league.
wear sleeves in this California Penal League. All right, Joel Klatt does not like your Missouri Tigers. You'll hear why next on 101 ESPN. All right, let's play the lineup game here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN as the Cardinals start a brand new series with the Cleveland Guardians. We're at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery having a good time already. Just met a gentleman, Brian, who listens to the show. He's from Michigan, Battle Creek, Michigan. So he's a
Battle Creek, Michigan.
Yep.
That's right
on
in
the other
between. I remember passing that going from Grand Rapids to Detroit.
Yep. That's on the other side of Detroit.
Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate your help with that.
You're welcome. Go to hell. Ben Lively. Oh, you like that? Yeah.
That was good.
Ben Lively, the right-hander, is on the hill for the Guardians tonight. So I imagine Jamie and Marsh.
Hang on, Anthony. I'm writing things down. Don't jump too far ahead here.
Let's see.
It's my fault. I was talking to some police officers here. Great individuals, and thank you for their service.
Where'd you park?
Right up front.
Oh, okay.
By the way, I text in our group.
BTW.
I go, hey, where are you guys parking today?
Yeah.
And Jamie texts back, and he just says, wherever I wanted.
Well, he's not lying.
That didn't help me at all.
I was driving.
I figured you were.
When I got in, I'm like, he probably figured it out. And then I didn't see you. And I'm like, I'm sure he'll figure it out. And you did. So
Yeah, there's plenty of park. I did text against it right up front.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
and
you
that's
did.
exactly
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I found myself. So
There you go.
All right, gentlemen. Let's
wherever
get to
I
this
wanted,
line.
I brought my own sign.
I'm kidding. 101 ESPN. Written in crayon.
Don't knock it till you tried it.
All right, so Mason Wynn.
Show us Mason Wynn, please.
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across the. That's awesome, but, like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up! All right, this has got to be our guy, right?
I would think so.
All right, Bradford, show us Alec Burleson.
You know, kind of closed my eyes and swung at it and did what I wanted to do.
Burley to the rescue!
This is going to be your guy now.
Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold! Rich with gold!
Marshy, do you want the honors?
Show us.
Nolan Arenado.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here. Come on.
So Donnie Baseball went for 4 for 4 last night.
Yeah, he's
I'm
probably
assuming.
out.
Oh, he's cemented it. Oh, you're right, Marshy. That's such a Cardinals move. He needs a day off.
Needs a day off.
Too busy running the
Tuckered out.
bases last night.
Yeah. So Brendan Donovan here?
Yeah.
All right. Show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
All right.
This was Lars Nootbaar yesterday.
It was. It is a
it's-
right-hander.
It's
So
going to be Newt. It's Newt. Show us Lars Nootbaar.
What makes you think she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt. A newt. I got better.
All right, so Walker, Pajes, Ciani.
sure.
Do we think it's Pajes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. They just for whatever. They just don't like playing Ivan Herrera.
Well, they don't like playing the young guys. You know that, Marshy.
I mean, Pajes is a young guy. But
Abby's not young. I don't know. Okay, who is this now? Walker?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Show us Jordan Walker.
What's his angle?
What angle?
Launch!
Launching now.
Pajes here?
show us Petey Pages.
Whoops, and another one bites the dust.
Wow. So it is Herrera.
Herrera.
In the 8th
That is
hole?
weird, though.
All right, Bradford.
Show us Ivan Herrera.
Oh, my, Marcia, you didn't do very good.
Okay, so hang on here. Hold
Wow.
on.
Maybe
Hold on.
Brendan Donovan's catching
I-
tonight.
Get out of my head. Okay. So,
Oh, this is Sajasi Pajes.
Okay.
Maybe.
whoa, hang on here. So our outfield is going to be Donovan, Nootbaar, Walker, Sajasi second base, Burley DH.
Who's in center?
Newt Bar.
The Newt.
The Newt is?
The
Okay.
Newt.
All right.
Show us Thomas Sajasi.
It's like Thomas the Tank Engine always says.
You like baseball?
And
Go
this
ahead.
has to be Petey Pages, right?
Yeah. You need a catcher.
All right, Bradford. Let's see Petey Pages, please. Wow.
All right. Bradford Bruns back in our 101 ESPN studios. Why don't you go ahead and run that thing?
Absolutely, guys. It is an intriguing defensive alignment at that. Leading off and manning shortstop, as is customary, Mason Wynn. Batting second in left field, Alec Burleson. In the third spot, Paul Goldschmidt, your first baseman. The designated hitter tonight, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth, Brendan Four-Hit Donovan, your second baseman. In center field and manning the sixth spot in the order, it is Lars Nootbaar. Hitting seventh, Jordan Walker, your right fielder. Setting it up for your eighth place hitter and third baseman on the night, Thomas Jacey, followed by your catcher, Pedro Pajes.
Back. Stay fair! Stay fair! Stay fair!
Go fair! Go fair!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run!
So, before we get to the home run, feels to me like the Cardinals are really leaning into Jacey being the next Brendan Donovan. He's
Having to play
shortstop.
second, short, and third.
Yep.
Yeah. You never have enough Brendan Donovans.
I don't hate it. I mean, that's kind of what he profiles to be.
Yep.
He's got a little more pop than Donnie, though.
So,
maybe.
Are you surprised Siani's not playing? I'm not. He is like I saw that he has like one of the worst OPSs for any player that's hit over, that has 300 at-bats since
Marsh,
2000.
he's trying.
I don't know if he's brought a bat up to the plate in the last 4 games.
Have we you were there the other night. Is
Yeah.
he, in fact, bringing a bat up to the plate?
He did bring a bat. Honestly, the at-bats
It's a good theory, Jamie.
I just don't know.
weren't that great.
Okay.
Weren't great.
All right.
All right, so, Marshy, you're still leading here, so have at it.
Give me. Now, this is where the strategy comes in here. I'm up, right?
Strategize with us.
And I'd rather take a guy off the bench so you guys can't. Give me Lucan Baker.
Wow,
You're
that's
a real
actually
piece of crap. You know
that's
that,
a really
It's
good
a numbers game, gentlemen.
That's a really good
No, it's not.
strategy. Yes, it is.
It's a gutless move.
I got to give it to him.
It's gutless. Just because I wanted Baker. All right. Well, this is one of the last series. Matt Carpenter has to get an at-bat, right?
Sure.
I can't imagine Herrera's going to get an at-bat. This is tough. I'm trying to pick a bench player. I got to try and catch our guy Marshy here. You know what? I'm going to go with Thomas Sajasi. I think I can pick away.
You are down by 3, so if he hits a home run, you tie it.
Yeah.
And then we'll go the entire month of October without getting a home run, and then it'll come down to the final game.
Then we'll end up picking other teams. Remember that was last year?
Oh, man.
We had 6 guys each.
That was the last World Series. Was it the World Series?
Yeah, we've drug on all the way to the World Series.
And we had to draft
6 players each.
6 players each, and one of your guys hit a home run.
Yes.
Unreal. Our guy Carey Davis, who is calling tonight's Illinois-Nebraska game, he has a Walker home run, a Jordan Walker home run. All right, give me Matt Carpenter off the bench. I'm going to have to. What's your, Marsh, what's your total?
I'm at 31 right now. Jamie is at 28, Carey at 23, and Anthony, you're at 10.
So I need two bench home runs.
Yeah.
You're doty.
And
It's a little uncalled
He
for.
just goes, whoa.
yeah, had a bad year. If you heard, Jamie and I were battling for first place last year.
We were.
So just easy, Doty, okay? All right. It's fascinating on 101 ESPN, so we got interrupted by the lineup game, but you'll find out why next. Joel Klatt does not like your Missouri Tigers here on 101 ESPN.
Cover
Here we go, guys.
Live at Blues and Brews inside the Anheuser-Busch Brewery on 101 ESPN.
Joel Klatt was on his own show talking about some Mizzou Tigers football, guys. And he was fired up. He was fired up for your Tigers. He wasn't at all, actually. No, that's not great. So here's Joel Klatt on the Joel Klatt Show talking about the drastic schedule difference compared to other SEC teams.
Brent Venables has a horrendous schedule in front of him. By the way, little tangent here. If you're Brent Venables and anybody from OU, how do you look at your schedule and then you look at Missouri's schedule and you're like, timeout. Are we in the same league? What is going on? Look at those two schedules. Pull them up. Pull them up. They're not in the same hemisphere. One might as well be a group of 5 schedule versus an NFL schedule. They are miles apart. I think Georgia could say the same thing. I think Florida could say the same thing. Those 3 schools are looking at Missouri and being like, are you serious? Are you serious? This is why, and I will maintain this, and I said it in yesterday's episode, Missouri's record is going to be better than their team. Meanwhile, Oklahoma's record is going to be worse than their team. And I think that starts this week.
So, one, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Well, have you seen that schedule? That's a juggernaut for the Tigers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. LSU you're talking about? Or?
No. The Missouri Tigers.
Missouri Tigers. Yeah.
Hey, they played a ranked Boston College.
Yes, they did.
They're going to have to play a ranked Alabama team.
Yeah. Certainly.
That's tough.
That's very tough.
Vanderbilt, way better than we thought.
Yeah, they won week 1.
They did.
They certainly did. Don't overlook don't look the Georgia State game last week. Nonetheless, we can't sit here and say that Mizzou's schedule is so favorable. We really like, the schedule as it comes to like Mizzou's in terms of Mizzou's playoff chances, and then rip Joel Klatt for ripping Mizzou's schedule. It is a softer schedule.
They didn't make their own schedule.
I think they do have some say in it.
Some of the games, but some of them they don't.
Yeah. It's not as tough as Oklahoma's. I'll give them that.
Well, then Oklahoma's stupid. If you can make your own schedule, why are you picking tough teams? It's a
good point.
It's a serious question.
Yeah. It's a strong point.
I think it really boils down to which side of the conference they're in, though.
I mean, it sometimes it lines up where you have a ton of tough conference games and you actually had some intriguing non-conference games.
Right.
For Mizzou, Mizzou did not overstep when it came to their non-con schedule, and their conference schedule this year isn't as daunting.
Well, and these schedules aren't made, 3 weeks before the season starts.
We're talking about years prior.
Oklahoma could look at Tennessee and, who knew that Tennessee maybe a couple years ago was going to be ranked number 6 right now.
Right. And they're always going to face Texas because of the Red River shootout.
For sure.
And, they're going to draw Ole Miss. But here's the good thing. Oklahoma and Mizzou play each other.
There you go.
So at least we have the head-to-head competition.
Texas A&M at 25, Bama at 4, Oklahoma at 15. It's not as soft as this guy's making it sound like.
I mean, it's pretty soft. It's pretty soft.
I don't like your guys' attitude at all.
I think it's like Play-Doh soft. Play-Doh's soft, but it can be hard. So it's like
if you leave it out too long.
Then it gets hard.
Yeah. And I don't know how that applies to the schedule necessarily, but I do like what you're saying.
I'm trying, Anthony.
I know you are. Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College. Okay, Boston College a little tougher than we think.
Where are they ranked?
24th.
What do you want me to do? I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, they're ranked.
For now.
I know. I'm trying to be Peter Positive here, and you're just kicking the crap out of
Well, I don't disagree with what Joel Klatt is saying.
I just didn't like the way he said it.
But I will say this. If you're playing and you're not as good as maybe your schedule would indicate, then you're going to get tripped up at some point. Mm-hmm. And if you're better, than what maybe your schedule would indicate, then go out and win those games.
Right.
That's the beautiful thing about college football or, I don't know, sports in general.
I do think, though, that if Mizzou does slip at any point in this season, the schedule then becomes their biggest enemy.
Absolutely. So you're right, Marsh. That's a great point. So there is the other side of the coin here.
Yeah.
If you have a softer schedule, you better run the table.
Yep.
You can't have slip-ups.
Last week
the committee's going to look at it and they're like, no, thank you.
That first half of last week, I was like, oh, boy. Like, you can't do that against some of the better teams.
Well, no, you're right. But look at, you asked me, Jamie, yesterday, you said, why did Texas leapfrog Georgia AP top 25? Because Georgia had a lot of issues with Kentucky last week. And so far, Texas has run through every opponent like hot knife through butter.
Would you guys say that Mizzou's schedule is on par with Tennessee and Ole Miss?
Yes. Tennessee hasn't played anybody either.
So,
look, the Chattanooga.
Why is this asshat focusing on Mizzou?
That's a good question.
I wonder if people in the SEC don't believe that Mizzou is an SEC school.
Well, they are.
No, I know they are.
They're in that conference.
I'm just saying.
No, but that's a really good point. So they played Chattanooga and Kent State. So they played a MAC
Tennessee.
school. Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah.
They played a MAC school. Missouri had their MAC opponent in Buffalo. Chattanooga. Mizzou had Murray State. And an ACC, a lower-ranked ACC school. Tennessee played NC State, who was 24th, and Mizzou had Boston College last week. Yeah. Then they have Oklahoma, Alabama, at Georgia. So they got a tougher ranked opponent in Georgia at the end of the year. Otherwise, it's the same damn schedule.
I think the difference is that Mizzou won by a touchdown and Tennessee defeated NC State by 41.
Details. That Boston College team's way better than NC State.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien's doing a fantastic
Bill O'Brien
job.
is doing a great job. Are you kidding me?
Tennessee's offense is pretty damn good, and they've only given up 13 points on the year.
What does Mizzou give? Mizzou didn't give up a point heading into that Boston College
I
game.
understand that.
I'm with Jamie. I don't like your attitude.
Yeah, it stinks today.
Yeah.
Especially on a Friday. Expect more.
I'm a Mizzou guy. I went to 2 games last year.
That's true. That's always his argument. I went to 2 games last year. You're right.
I'm a
right.
fan.
Yeah.
I have Mizzou apparel.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
Nope,
that's all you have to do.
You know?
Yep.
Well, yeah. You either have to pay your child's tuition, or you're going to buy a T-shirt at a sporting goods store, and then you're a Mizzou fan.
I checked both of those boxes.
Yeah.
All right.
Or you could obviously go to the school, but it's easier to not go for 4 years and just buy a T-shirt.
My dad tells everybody he went to Notre Dame because he went to Notre Dame to watch like 2 games. He's a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, you know what? I've actually
prove he didn't.
I could be a Notre Dame fan too. I went and watched the Winter Classic when Chicago played Boston. There,
I saw Notre Dame.
I saw touchdown Jesus.
I saw Notre Dame at the Big House.
Did you?
Yeah. Remember I told you?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I feel like you and I were there at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I saw Notre Dame at the Big House.
Yeah. What year? 2003?
Like 6 or something?
2004? It would have been one of those years.
Then
no. It would have been 2005.
I was there.
Because it was after the 04 lockout.
There you go.
Yep.
You and I, we're in the stadium.
We're there together, Anthony.
We were probably sitting right next to each other.
Probably.
Who knew?
You know
Who
what
knew?
that is?
Actually, no. I was sitting, we had the opportunity to go down on the sidelines, which was awesome. And then our seats, for whatever reason, was surrounded by Notre Dame people.
Oh, no.
I'm sitting there wearing my Michigan stuff. It didn't get crazy. It was fine.
Notre Dame fans are okay.
They were fine.
Yeah.
You know what you guys have? It's called the invisible string theory, and I'll read it for you.
Yeah, please do.
So the invisible string theory suggests that everyone has someone in their lives who is attached to them by an unbreakable string that transcends time, distance, and geography. So the fact that you two were at the same place many years ago and had no idea, and the fact that you two are now together, just an unbreakable bond.
Oh, yeah.
Invisible string theory. It transcends. You two transcend
I've heard it
time.
called something different, too, when you have that bond with another guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. But
Chemistry, cohesion.
No, it was something else.
Synergy, hockeyskills.com.
something like
covalent bond.
Some kind of a brother. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll come to me.
It'll come to you.
Bromance.
All right.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah,
A little bit. Yeah. NFL Week 3 entrance survey. So Week 3 actually started last night, but we got some Week 3 questions ahead for you, including what's the biggest storyline you're following this weekend? That's next on 101 ESPN.
The Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
Week 3 last night kicked off at MetLife Stadium as the Jets rolled the Patriots. The New York Jets, Jets. Now 2-1 on the season. Aaron Rodgers looked good, boys. I got to give him some credit. I said the guy can't move. He moved pretty well last night. He looked good.
Yeah, he was fine.
Yeah, he was solid.
Yeah, he's fine.
He was. He looked good. I hate to admit it, but he looked good.
He's
all right. What's the number one storyline heading into Sunday for you guys? The number one storyline that you guys are following could be a certain team, could be the offenses, and whether or not we got more scoring.
Yeah, for me, is the Saints' offense legit? Because the Eagles got a pretty good defense over there, and I think it's going to be a good test for the Saints. So are they a legit team, first of all, playing a good Eagles team, and is that offense as potent as we've seen so far?
I think Derek Carr might throw for 350 and 3 tutties.
Wow.
For bury the bodies.
Wow. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, you're starting it?
Yeah, we benched Dak. We've seen enough.
I've seen a few.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's which superstar is going to get injured in Week 3.
Whoa!
I know. I
that
say
got
that.
dark.
I know that
What
is very
the
dark.
hell? Are you serious?
It's
I'm being
Friday
dead
again.
serious.
This guy's wow.
There's so many injuries this season. It's quite disturbing.
Are you okay?
I'm doing fine.
Marshy, did you get enough sleep last night?
I got a lot of sleep last night. I went to bed early, a lot earlier than I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel great.
Okay.
Kinda. I think we're dealing with something.
Yeah.
Well, it's the
That time of
seasons
year.
are changing. A little sniffles here and there, but I got a good night of sleep.
Good.
And okay, we'll reset things.
Good.
actually.
There we
Okay.
go. Good.
The one thing that I'm looking for this week is which superstar is going to get injured.
Whoa!
This
I thought we reset.
Oh,
Okay. Wow.
He reset it, like literally reset it.
He reset it. I thought he was going to reset. but
Yeah.
okay. All right. March is
okay.
looking for injuries this week. All right. For me, guys, it is the all right. Who were we wrong about? Who did we overreact about throughout the first 2 weeks? Such as the Patriots being maybe better than we thought. Or maybe they were just exactly what we thought. The Ravens, are they in a lot of trouble? Or do they go into Dallas and, rout the Cowboys? Are as Marsh's Vikings, are they really as good as what they looked like the first 2 weeks? I think there's a lot of matchups where you could say, oh, yeah, that's right. That's why I didn't really like your team coming in. Or conversely, oh, that's right. That's why I was actually high on your team, Baltimore, and you didn't do anything. So I think that we might see kind of a reversal of course here for some of these teams. They either look bad in the first 2 weeks of the season or great in the first 2 weeks of the season.
I got to go back to the injuries though, because I think that plays.
Triple down on it.
It plays a huge part in what's going on right now. Like, look at the 49ers. Are the 49ers the same team?
No, they're literally half the team.
No, but the Rams have lost 487 of their
There you
offensive
go.
line.
There's another team that's being.
I have to hop a plane after this because I'm playing left tackle for the Rams
Well,
on
that'd be
Sunday.
exciting.
Well,
It's going to be bad.
that's your favorite offense. It makes sense.
Okay, Marsh. Boy, I don't really like your attitude right now. Let's
It's
just
pretty bad.
All right, you
let's
want me to
just
come
move
up with a new one?
No, I
No,
don't.
no, it's fine.
No,
No, I'll come up with a new
no,
one.
because I don't want you.
Nah,
I
I'll come
don't
up with a
want
new
you to quadruple down on this.
I won't quadruple.
No.
down on it.
Let's
All right.
move on. What's the matchup you're most intrigued by? For me, it's that Texans and Vikings. Texans and Vikings matchup in Minnesota. Like that one to me is fascinating. What Brian Flores is doing with that defense in Minnesota is very interesting. Houston did not look great on Sunday night against the Bears. All those receivers and options for CJ Stroud against that defense, I'm fascinated by. And then on the other side of the coin, I don't think Houston's defense is necessarily lights out, but it's another interesting test for Sam Darnold. So that's the matchup I've got circled: Texans and Vikings.
I've actually got one circled because my Lions played well enough to win. Dan Campbell took the heat for all of that, which is fine and dandy. But Kyler Murray and the Cardinals had a hell of a week 2 last week. So I'm anxious to see if the Lions can hold those guys off the score sheet. I don't know what's so funny.
I don't either.
I just Doty's reminding me of like when you hear a rap song and then in between the rap lyrics you hear like huh, or like like the ad lib people like that's Doty when we're talking. They're like, oh, I like this matchup. Whoa, like it's just I don't know. I think it's
I was like,
hilarious.
what? I was like,
Yeah, I
did
miss it.
cuss?
Yeah, no.
Like I don't
What
remember
what did
I just
miss?
do.
Yeah.
But no, I'm
I think that's an interesting.
intrigued to see if the Lions can, one, bounce back, and two, can they slow down Kyler Murray and some of those guys over there.
So you guys picked both of my matchups, and so I'll move on to one that I don't know if people are excited about this matchup, but it's two teams that I don't think that we thought would be 2-0 to start off the season, and that's Los Angeles being the Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. For whatever reason, that matchup really intrigues me from like a defensive standpoint and like a real this is going to be a gritty football game. Like this is going to be one of those games where, hey, it might be a 13-10 game.
Yeah.
Like if you really enjoy the game of football and the grittiness of it, I think this is that game for you. It's played in Pittsburgh. It's going to be one of those type of games. Now, if you like offense, then you probably are skipping that game because you probably won't see
any of it. If you like field goals, tune in.
If you like field goals, you'll definitely get it from Pittsburgh.
Well, if you like the running game.
If you like the running, and that's what I mean by like the run and tumble like type game. Like it's just gonna be it's hardball.
A rock fight.
It's gonna be a rock fight.
They call those a rock fight.
I didn't know what you said
So that's intriguing because one of those teams is going to be 3-0 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Or honestly, this could be a game where there's a tie.
A tie.
There's always a tie every year, I feel like.
Yep.
I feel like Pittsburgh's always a part of that in some way, shape, or form. So it would be kind of hilarious if it was a tie.
That Ravens-Cowboys matchup is intriguing, too, because which team is going to get off the mat? Like the Ravens could be 2-0. They're 0-2. And last week they completely collapsed in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I don't think right now, and I love John Harbaugh, so I think they're a well-coached team, ... They're not being coached right now, though. Like the two coordinators haven't been great in Baltimore, including new defensive coordinator Zach Orr. Mike Zimmer, meanwhile, his defense was shredded last week by the Saints. So which team gets off the mat? All right, last one here for you guys.
What is Marcy laughing at?
We got a text from Saucy Jack that said, in quote, the matchup I'm most interested in is the NFL players versus the injuries. Marsh, probably.
Yeah, it's 100%. Well said. All right, the thing that will happen Sunday that will surprise a lot of people but won't surprise you. So this could be an upset. This could be a team, a game that you think maybe is a blowout that is not a blowout,
So I was going to say my initial thought was that the Falcons hand the Chiefs their first loss of the season.
But then you'd have to say something you don't believe.
Then I sobered up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
We are at the brewery.
We are.
Haven't been drinking yet.
Yet.
No.
Yep.
I guess.
Can I give you an example? Or do you got
are you acting like I don't know?
No, do you have one?
He does that all the time. Can I give you an
touch
example?
your leg?
He touches my leg a lot too, but he does that to me all the time. He thinks I don't know what the hell's going on. So then instead of telling me how this game works, can I give you an example?
Well, you
don't father me.
You just said, but if I may, you just said the Chiefs were going to beat the Falcons. We know that's not going to happen.
I said the Falcons are going to beat the Chiefs.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Anthony. Give me your unbelievable example.
No, it's not an unbelievable example. It's just an example.
Yeah.
The backup quarterbacks actually play decent.
Okay.
Like the Dolphins, I'm not a big Skylar Thompson fan. I don't think Seattle is some world-beating team. And I think that Miami with a full week with Skylar Thompson, who, by the way, they played the Bills in a Week 18 game a year ago when Tua got hurt. Or was it two years ago? No, it was a playoff game 2 years ago in Buffalo. And they actually played them pretty tough.
Yeah.
I think they're going to put together a decent game plan to give Seattle a game. I also think, and you actually mentioned this yesterday, that while the Panthers are bad overall, I wouldn't be shocked if that offense looks capable with a veteran quarterback as opposed to what we've seen where Bryce Young looks completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So
I
like
think we might have the same result there.
It probably will be.
I mean, it's Carson Wentz. I'm sorry. No offense to you, Papa Wentz, but it's Carson Wentz. It's not like you're putting a real able quarterback under center there either.
In Carolina?
Yeah.
It's the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton.
That's right.
Either way.
But, Carson Wentz, yeah.
He's
no.
in Kansas
He's
City.
in Kansas City.
Kansas City.
And maybe he takes over when the Falcons end up, smoking the Chiefs and they take Pat
here's the
Mahomes.
problem.
Or what you're saying earlier. You did
Yeah,
say superstar.
it wouldn't be surprising to me that if another NFL quarterback went out with an injury.
Oh,
no,
sorry,
that's not
Chiefs
mine.
Nation.
That's
Marshy
not
just
mine.
did it to you.
Oh,
You
my
didn't
bad.
even know it.
Yikes.
That's not mine. Mine is. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if the Vikings won.
That's where I was headed.
It wouldn't shock me at all, and I don't really know. Like,
But is that really shocking?
I don't know. It depends on how people really feel about them. Are they caught up in the they're 2-0, like Brian Flores' defense, but Sam Darnold? Like, do they think like Stephen A. Smith, or do they think like Dan Orlovsky? I'm very biased, of course, and so I'm at the point where I'm just like rolling with it, and I'm enjoying what's happening. It wouldn't shock me if the Vikings won, but it also wouldn't shock me, being a Vikings fan, if they got blown out. Because the Houston Texans are a good football team.
That they are.
But
They're our number 2 team.
They're our number 2 team.
Not Jamie's, though.
No.
They were 3 for me.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I think Carey had him like 10th or something.
Yeah.
You know why? Because Stephon Diggs played for the Bills last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't he just hop on the if
Carey's mad
if
about it all.
Stephon Diggs was
he's
the
mad.
end all be all, then why wouldn't he be all in on Houston?
He's mad about the whole thing.
I'm just mad.
He just doesn't know.
Nah, I'm gonna wash my hands of all of it. William will join us in the Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Rivers. Call 314-920-5713 now for a free inspection.
Live from the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. 403, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We welcome in William to the Gauntlet. What's up, William?
Hey, not much. How we doing, guys?
Doing great. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks for listening. Is this your first time?
This is my first time with the Gauntlet, yeah.
All right. Well, welcome in, my friend. Would you like to take on Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, or me?
Let's do you, Stalter.
Oh, all right. Well, good luck to you, kid.
All right, thank you.
All right, Anthony, I would suggest maybe going over there outside that door. Just pointing him in the right direction because we can hear the speakers and stuff. And all right, well, Doty says he can handle that. But all these people here, Doty, want to hear the Gauntlet, too.
That's true.
I would just send Anthony on a
I think he's going to the apparel shop.
He's going on a snipe hunt.
He's going to get some gear.
Yep. All right, William, how you doing, buddy?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. Sorry for all the confusion. We're it's like play action fake down here when we're on these remotes. So what I need you to do, what I need you to do right now, buddy, is tell my guy Bradford to spin that wheel.
Brad, spin the wheel.
What are you hoping for, William?
Anything but football with Stalter.
Okay, all right. Bradford, the wheel is stopped. What do we got?
Gentlemen, much like those inexplicable noises at about 2:05, it's random.
Random. All right.
All righty.
Okay, so here's how it's going to work. Is we've got 4 questions. Each of them are worth 2 points if you answer them without the options. If you use the options and answer it correctly, they're worth 1 point. If you get it wrong, obviously 0 points. If you're tied after 4 questions, we will have a tiebreaker, and we will get a winner here in the Gauntlet. You ready to go, William?
Sure am.
All right, here we go. The infamous Salem witch trials began during... I can't even read that. It's so blurry.
We're looking for a year.
Yeah. So I'll read. The infamous Salem witch trials began during what year?
I'm going to have to take the options on that one.
Yeah, I would imagine. Was it 1692, 1720, or 1800?
16.
Okay.
The first one.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, hang on here. Bradford, I know you're back in the studio. If you could, please send us another picture. Maybe one where you're not shaking your hand back and forth because it's so blurry we can barely read it. So, Marshy, go ahead. Hopefully Bradford gets us one here quickly.
I think we got this one. Question number 2. Where was Popeyes founded? We'll accept the city or the state. So where was Popeyes founded?
Popeyes Chicken?
That is correct.
Options, please.
Options are Tuscaloosa, New Orleans, or Atlanta?
New Orleans. Final answer.
All right, question 3. How long does an Olympic judo match last in regulation?
I believe 3 minutes. Final answer.
All right.
And question number 4. In Greek mythology, who perished by flying too close to the sun with waxen wings?
Options, please.
All right, your options are...
Hermione.
Hermione.
Menelaus.
Menelaus and Icarus.
I send it again.
Icarus, final answer.
All right.
Okay. Marshy, did you get the updated version from...
I did. That still didn't help me with the spelling of these names.
Okay, but does it have the question 1 properly?
It does.
All right. Can you hand that over to me, please?
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll call back our guy Anthony here. How you feeling, William?
I wish I would have got football.
There you go, buddy. There you go. All right, our guy Anthony's coming back. I can't find him. I saw him staring at us through the glass in the the clothing.
He's coming
store.
back.
He's working his way
There
around.
he
There he
is.
is. Quick feet on Anthony. Boy, is he jumping.
Well, he did get called to be the Rams left tackle, so we need to know what his 40 time is. Could be a little too slow, but we'll find out if he's good in the gauntlet.
All right, Anthony, find anything good to wear in there?
Oh, they have a lot of great items at the Budweiser Busch Brewery here. Got T-shirts.
Yeah.
Beer. I saw the beer.
And more beer.
And
Yeah,
they have
beer. Yeah.
beer on T-shirts.
And beer on T-shirts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Anthony, I just want to let you know I'm very disappointed that you would sign a contract with Kroenke to work for the Rams.
Seriously, we said the same thing to him.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's
well,
horrible.
here's the thing. I'm not good at left tackle, so they're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I'm going to take his money, and they're still going to lose. One of those deals, William.
Okay.
You good with that?
We can live with that.
Okay, all
yeah,
right.
we can live with that.
Hopefully I spun that well enough.
It's going to be great though when you enter into the game, but you have to tell the referee that you're that you're eligible.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. All right. The category today is random, and you better pack a lunch.
Okay.
Question 1.
Nothing makes me feel dumber than random trivia.
Well, you should have seen me trying to read the screenshot earlier.
Oh, boy.
Question 1. The infamous Salem witch trials began during the spring of what year?
The Salem witch trials.
Yes. It's common knowledge, Anthony.
Sure. It certainly is, Jamie. Maybe I'm just, feeling nervous. So I'll ask for the options.
All right. Was it 1692, 1720, or 1800?
For some reason, 16 sounds right. 1692, is that the option? 1692?
That is one of them.
1692, final answer.
All right. Thank you.
All right, question number 2. Where was Popeyes founded? We'll accept the city or the state.
Popeyes.
The chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Because we offered that to William.
I want to say like Nashville or something, but that might seem. But is that? Well, no, that would. Well, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay, I better get the options on this. I'll take the options, please.
All right, your options are Tuscaloosa, New Orleans, or Atlanta.
It wasn't Atlanta. Tuscaloosa or New Orleans?
New Orleans.
I can't imagine it's Tuscaloosa, so I'll go New Orleans, Louisiana. Final answer.
All right, buddy. Question 3. How long does an Olympic judo match last in regulation? No overtime.
I wouldn't even know if it was overtime. Can I have the options, please?
Is it 4 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1 hour?
Let's split the difference. Let's go with 30 minutes, please. Seems like a long time, but the other option was an hour, so 30 minutes. Final answer.
Question number 4. In Greek mythology, who perished by flying too close to the sun with waxen wings?
Icarus. Final answer.
Somebody thinks they're smart.
Consider I had to ask for the options on the other ones. I don't think so.
All right. Let's go over it here as we break it down. Question 1. The infamous Salem witch trials began during the spring of what year? William, you said 1692. Anthony, you also said 1692. Marshy, answer is?
Well, in 1692, I think these Salem witches perhaps turned some of these other people into newts. 1692.
All right. Good job, William.
It turned me into a newt.
But both of you used the options.
Nice job, William.
Next question, question 2. Where was Popeyes founded? William, you said New Orleans.
Wow.
Anthony, you also said Nolans. Answer is?
Well, it is the city that is the home of Anthony's favorite quarterback, Derek Carr, New Orleans is the correct answer.
All right.
Question 3.
Second favorite, Aaron Rodgers is number 1.
That's a good
right.
point.
Yeah, good call.
How long does an Olympic judo match last? In regulation, of course.
Of course.
William, you said 3 minutes. Anthony, you said, I split the difference, 30 minutes. Seems awfully long, but 30 minutes. Answer is
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
So it was. That was really long.
It was really long.
Oh, you said no overtime. You said regulation.
It's regulation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You would have had it otherwise. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, final question here. Question 4. In Greek mythology, who perished by flying too close to the sun with waxen wings? William, you said Icarus. Anthony, you also said Icarus. The answer is?
It's Icarus.
But Anthony did not need the options.
Wow.
William.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
That was the winner.
Yeah, that was it right there. William,
Wow.
nice job, buddy.
Nice
He just
job,
got
William.
you at the end there.
Oh, yeah. Well, good job, Anthony.
Thanks, William. I appreciate it, man. Nice battle. That was a good one.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a good now. Have a
You
good
too.
weekend.
Yeah,
You too, buddy.
brother.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
man.
Thank you for listening. All right, good stuff.
Good job,
Icarus,
buddy.
Thank you. Yeah.
Look at you with your Greek mythology,
Well,
your
you know,
Roman times,
my
and your
Roman
Greek
times,
mythology,
you know.
your dinosaurs. You like everything
Yeah.
old.
I do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Dinosaurs.
Is it because you watched Eternals on your Marvel cinematic journey?
And Icarus
He was a
the one
character.
that got way too close. Yeah, to the sun. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
No. Typically, you burn.
Especially those little waxen wings.
Oh yeah.
Not
Are you
good.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Wax is gonna burn every time.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It's going to melt.
Melts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not burn.
Not burn.
But once it melts, then,
Then it's useless.
You're done
For
Yep,
sure.
Yep.
Correct.
But,
We've been
there's
we've been
no-
telling people that for a long time, quite frankly.
Then he would just kind
You've
of
been warning
float,
people.
though.
Definitely.
Don't use those waxen wings.
Exactly. Especially close to the sun.
Mhm.
I've made T-shirts.
Solid information.
You shouldn't stare at the sun either.
No, typically not.
No.
Unless it's whatchamacallit. Then you're good.
A solar eclipse.
Yeah.
But
Then
you got to
can
have the
look-
glasses
You
on.
look
You
right
got to
up
have
there.
the goggles on.
You
though,
got to have the
Anthony.
red
What's that now?
cardinal glasses
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Now it explains a few things.
Marsh, what's that?
Exactly.
All right, did Ollie Marmol meet realistic expectations with this roster?
Oh, come on.
That's next up on ESPN. Live from the Anheuser-Busch Brewery for tonight's Blues season kickoff party. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh is here. Jamie Rivers is here. Carey Davis is in Lincoln, Nebraska for tonight's Big Ten matchup. A pair of top 25 teams, Nebraska and Illinois, squaring off. And Carey does the color analyst for the Illini radio, so that's where he is. He'll be back with us on Monday. Did Ollie Marmol meet the realistic expectations with this roster this season? So realistic being, Marsh, that nobody expected the Cardinals to win a World Series with this exact roster.
Right.
But did he meet the realistic expectations of whatever they may be with this roster? I would say no. I think that with this roster, even with the poorly construction, how it was poorly constructed, you still played one of the worst divisions in baseball.
Yeah.
I think having the expectation that you win the division really wasn't much. You know, did they improve from last year? Yeah, that was one of the lowest bars that you had to hurdle over.
Right.
That you could really set. So if it was just, hey, get better than last year, that's a low bar. So I don't think you should be fired or anything like that. I don't think the roster is good enough to win a playoff series, but I did expect them to win the division.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all picked the Cardinals to win the Central, and John Mozeliak in the front office, they said at the beginning of the year that we're playing to win the division. So you didn't do that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you did not meet those expectations. Now, that's why this question is the realistic expectation, not what we what we thought. But I think when you look at what this team is, to me, they're not really any better than last year. But, like, the record shows that, and I think he made some moves throughout the year that helped win ball games. I also think he made some moves that helped lose ball games. But that's, at the end of the day, that's what a manager ends up doing, right? Like, but those are –
here's what I give him credit for.
Those really come down to execution, and we talk about that with Nick Sirianni and the Eagles this past week. Like, that was the kind of the argument that you and Carey were having is, should they run the ball? Should they throw the ball? Well, he decided to throw the ball.
Yeah.
That was his decision, and the player did not execute.
It is interesting, though. So unlike in football, and I'm glad you brought this up. So, yeah, Carey and I disagreed earlier in the week about the final play call. What wound up being, well, it wasn't the final play call, but the decision to throw the ball in that situation for the Eagles. Was it the right play call? Yeah, it should have worked. Should it have happened, though, in that situation? No.
Yeah.
If you're Nick Sirianni, you are overseeing the team. You've got the headphone on for a reason. If you know that's the play call and you're looking at it and you're saying the Falcons do not have timeouts, if we run the ball, hell, even if we run it twice, they're not getting the ball back with a lot of time.
Right.
If they stop us. And that's if they stop us. Mm-hmm. But I have got to run the ball. Why? I want to make sure they have as fewest plays as possible. The Falcons wound up having like 8 plays left.
Right.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So to me, Carey was arguing whether or not the play design or the play call was correct. Fine, I'll concede that. Nice play design. Shouldn't have ever happened.
Right.
But if you switch gears and you talk about from Ollie's perspective, what does he control? What does he oversee that we can kind of hold him to the fire on? Managing the clubhouse is one of them.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of different personalities coming in and out. You've got young players, you've got veteran players, and in baseball, most of them, like hockey, every walk of life. Different countries, different language barriers. So to get everybody on the same page is one of the jobs for the manager. I realize he writes the lineup. I realize that he does the bullpen stuff. He's got a lot of different decisions that he's got to make throughout a game. But really, he's managing the roster. And from that regard, that was a rough April coming off a bad year.
Oof.
And you didn't hear a lot.
Right.
You didn't hear a lot of panic. They did play better in May. Ultimately, I don't think the roster was good enough for them to make any noise this year.
Well, the roster may not have been good enough, but also the roster underperformed.
I agree.
And again, I will say this, and this is not an excuse for Mo or Ollie, but I think Cardinal Nation would admit that they did not expect the drop-off that they saw from Arenado and Goldie.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody could have forecast that. Nobody. Like no matter how average or just slightly above average they were last year.
Yeah.
You didn't anticipate like Nolan Arenado's got 16 home runs.
Yeah.
And it took him forever to get there. And look how bad he was to start the season. Like, so when that happens, it doesn't matter what you've done to your roster. When you're counting on two of the pieces that are your biggest providers to no longer be your providers, like
how are you going to win games?
Yeah.
So here's your roster. Okay. All right. So I don't know what the conversations are like between Ollie and Mo. But Jamie, if you're a hockey coach or even a hockey general manager, and Marsh is, let's do that. You're the GM, Marsh is the coach.
Yeah.
And you just say to Marsh, here's your roster, kid, go get him. Marsh can interpret it however he wants to, but if you guys are on the same page, here's your roster. You got oak trees defensively. You can park those guys in front of your goaltender, and here's offensively, here's what we've given you from a forward group. You don't have Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid, but this is how we can win games. Marsh understands it. He sees the roster. He executes that plan. You guys have cohesion. I don't know what the conversations are like between Mo and Ollie directly about how to win games.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to win. Instead of, here's your pitching staff. Got you more innings this year. Okay, thank you.
And you can tell by his post games, it's very subtle throughout the year where he's like, yeah, we don't have anybody off the bench. Like, we don't have that guy.
To your point, how many times has Ollie agreed with a media member? Where a media member's like, hey, listen, is this trying to, you don't have a lot of bench options, so this, that, the other thing. Yeah, I think you said it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have what I need. I don't have what I need. I'm not letting Ollie off the hook.
For sure.
Because at some point, Ollie's got to say, well, hell, this is my roster. I have to figure it out.
I
have to maximize it.
Because the Guardians are doing it. The Royals are doing it. The Brewers
are doing it. Right.
The Royals also have an absolute stud in Bobby Witt Jr.
For sure.
Yes.
But that's just,
the Cardinals don't have that guy.
That's one guy out of 9, though.
I agree, but the Cardinals don't even have one. They don't.
They don't. They thought they did.
They thought they did. And that goes back to my original thought on this whole thing is, you talk about me giving Marshy the lineup or whatever as a GM and the coach. This is what Mo did, but Mo can't foresee the future and see the drop-off. So then what? Once the season gets started, in baseball in particular, you're kind of screwed.
Right.
Until the trade deadline.
Right.
Because there's not a lot of player movement throughout the season.
Sure.
Within the organization, yes, but from team to team, there's not.
But you even said it earlier, and I agreed with you. You said, like, what was the counter? What was the pivot? All right, so these guys, they underperformed. It's like, oh, jeez. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, but what could you do to pivot there?
You know what
when
you
you
and
have
I.
Walker that's underperforming, or you're sending him up and down. He wasn't performing. Let's just be honest. He looked very discombobulated at the start of the season.
Right.
Then Gorman, he had a good start, then he couldn't hit the ball to save his life. So those are two guys now. Now you add the two of Nolan Arenado and Paul Gold. That's 4 of your 9 players that are completely underperforming.
No,
and
you're right.
Contreras with the injury, he's not even able to perform.
If you're Ollie, you don't have a pivot.
There's none.
If you're Mo, you could have a pivot, but it's being drastic.
Now, could they have brought up Lukenbaker earlier? Give it a shot? Probably.
Yeah.
Is he the ultimate difference maker?
No.
I don't know.
No, he's not.
Well, at the end of the day, like the players that you mentioned, they're all unproven guys. Like you have like 4 out of the 9 guys, probably even more. Mason Wynn, who's been great, but he was an unproven.
Yeah.
Right? You have Alec Burleson. He's been great. But he was unproven.
He was
Nolan
unproven,
Gorman,
and you weren't expecting it from
Jordan
him.
Walker, unproven. Lars Nootbaar, can't stay healthy. Brendan Donovan, he's fine. Michael Ciani / Victor Scott, unproven.
Right.
Like you had, and this is from an offensive standpoint. Like Michael Ciani was fine, and he's been great in the outfield. But from an offensive standpoint, like 5 out of your 9 guys were like unproven players. So what do you expect to have out of your lineup?
I expect wins.
Well, I expect that too, but like realistically speaking.
Well, it's easy to say that, Anthony. 6, 7, 8. It's easy to say that. I expect wins. I expect championships. But if there's no direct path to it, how do you win?
Score more runs?
If you can't. Because that was a problem too this year. How many games did they lose because the offense couldn't provide, and the pitching staff actually did their job and kept it under 3 runs at times, and the Cardinals couldn't score runs.
Allow fewer runs?
I mean, it's a strategy.
Yeah. Looks like we figured it out.
We just need 5 aces.
We'll be fine. All right, the Sports Six-Pack is next. So if you have a question for us, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Again, our Sports Six-Pack is next in the Fast Lane.
Done second.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. All of them have been answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question. The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
All right, before we get to our Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, we have our last tickets to give away for the Brooks and Dunn concert that's coming up soon. So now is your chance to score a pair of tickets to see Brooks and Dunn with special guest David Lee Murphy on Friday, April 25th at Enterprise Center. Text in now, 314-399-9646 to win free tickets to the show. Tickets for Brooks and Dunn went on sale this week, and you can find all the ticket details and a bonus chance to register to win at 101ESPN.com or the 101 app. Here is your trivia question for today. The question that I answered right to win the Gauntlet today. What was the answer? What was the answer? I didn't use the options. William did. And want to be the difference maker. So what was the answer to the trivia question? You have that, text in 314-399-9646, and you'll both see Brooks and Dunn free tickets. All right, Marsh. Actually, I should say, all right, Bradford, question one, please.
Question number one.
All right, this first question comes from the 636. Do you think the Blues will be able to make the playoffs this year, or do you think it will take one more year for them to acquire more for the team to start meshing together and getting a groove going?
I think they're going to compete for a playoff spot. Can I guarantee it? Well, no, obviously not. But I do like the direction this team is headed in. There's a lot to be excited about. It's not like you're sitting there as a stagnant team that you really, I hope we're getting the playoffs. Even if you don't, for whatever reason, this team is still going to be trending in the right direction. And I'm going to see some of these young players take big steps. You're going to see some players that aren't even here yet that will become part of this team in the next year and a half. The Snuggaroos and Dvorsky is yet to be determined, like where he ends up. So I do think they're a playoff team. Is it going to be easy? No, absolutely not, because your division is hell. The Central Division is just stacked with really good teams. So your way to the playoffs is going to be through the side door by hoping that one of the Pacific Division teams just, they drop off. And I picked the LA Kings as that team. I just don't like the goaltending. The defense is fine. I can see them taking steps backwards, thus opening the door for the division. So I think they're right there. They're in the conversation.
Question two, Blue.
Question number two.
From the 636, if you were playing a professional sport at your age right now, how would you go out and celebrate a win after the game?
Well, I think we know how that would work. I'm getting blacked out. At my age, if I'm playing a pro sport and I go celebrate, yeah, you better believe we're going to have some fun.
Blind drunk, as you once
blacked
said.
out, blind drunk, all that stuff. We do we call it the two-step. 2 steps to the left, 2 steps to the right, 2 steps to the left.
There you go. Sounds like whether it was Jamie's in his prime or Jamie's career now, it'd probably be the same.
Yeah.
Same answer.
So at the start of my career, yes. Then I figured out that you can't live your life that way and expect to be a professional athlete for very long.
Yeah.
So then I changed completely. Post-career, now, if I was to go back to being, if I had the chance to do that, I would even celebrate. Be happy I'm alive, first of all.
Yeah, seriously. I mean,
like
that
what
would
sport
be
are we playing?
Right.
Like if it's like professional bowling?
Well, I don't know. Whatever sport you want to play.
Yeah, I'd love to play hockey, but I just don't know if this old carcass can hold up.
Right. I mean, what if you played and you had one shift and then...
One shift?
Yeah, one shift.
I could do
the
that.
boys get a win and then you get to celebrate. There was a player, the name is just eluding me right now, but he played in the East Coast.
Yeah, Terry Ryan.
Terry Ryan.
I talked to old TR before he did that. He was like, it's because he's from Newfoundland. He's kind of a legend, local legend out there. And they had an East Coast Hockey League team. There were a bunch of injuries and guys that were sick and whatnot. And so we're looking at each other, hey, sign a contract for 1 game. We need a guy for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. Went out there, played fine. He got himself in a fight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's my age, like 49 years old.
Yeah.
He's up there.
It kind of reminds me.
I didn't know what else to
Well,
say.
you just don't say anything at that point.
The words were already coming out of my mouth, though. I couldn't stop.
Why don't you just talk about him getting injured, and that's like the thing you're going to watch now.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch for Rivers getting seriously injured.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of superstars that are getting injured these days.
Take the superstar. I really want the injury.
Question 3, please.
Question number 3.
From the 636, hey fellas, do you think the Cardinals ghost the fans again and do not have an end of the season press conference this year?
It depends on if somebody talks before the season wraps, because that's what happened last year. Mo talked to the media like a week before the season ended, and they kind of just viewed that as the end of the season press conference. It was kind of like a technicality, like, well, we said what we were going to say.
It was.
This should be a completely different thing this year.
I think there was enough backlash from media members as well as the fan base, because this is what Cardinals don't realize. Is the media members take a lot of the heat from the fan base for not being able to report something. Well, why don't you guys demand to have a press? Why don't you you can't tell them what to do in the Cardinals. So the fans get irritated, and then they get after the media members, and the media members then kind of clap back, not to the fan base, but to the Cardinals, like, why are you not doing this? When it's something that you've always done, every other team does, and you do it, it's a bad look.
Yeah, it's something that you have been doing here.
After one of the worst seasons ever, that's called hiding. You cannot stand up there, sit up there at the table, be accountable to the media, to the fan base, to the players, everything. It's a part of the job that sucks, but that's why you're there. You're paid the big bucks to make the decisions and to wear it if you have to. I think this year will be much different. I don't think they will go without a press conference. Again, personally, I would have it done without Jabo Zaylock as a part of it, almost a succession plan of like, we're phasing him out, which is what his own words. And whoever, maybe it's Heim Bloom and Mike Verge up there, or with Ollie Marmol, or they'll do it the third. Like, I do think the DeWitt family should have representation at the press conference. To me, I think if they show accountability, this fan base will appreciate that. That's just
No, I agree with that. You're absolutely right. You said it perfectly. All right, we're going to continue our Sports Six-Pack next, so keep those questions rolling in. We're live from the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Again, the continued Sports Six-Pack next.
All right.
Are we making sure that we're cut off in between breaks? We had a hot mic in between breaks. Well, they disconnect them.
Metals Recycling.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
Live from the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, it's the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter, and we continue our Sports Six-Pack right now with question 4, please.
Question number 4.
From the 618, do you guys think Illinois football, the football team, is good enough to be ranked realistically, or was Kansas just overestimated? Or is it too early to tell?
So I don't think Carey or any Illini fan are going to appreciate my take, but I think that their ranking is a bit of a, how do I put this? College football has so much parity right now.
Is the word lie what you're looking for?
No, it's not.
Fraud.
It's a little fraudulent. It's a little fraudulent.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, have they beaten anybody? No. Has Mizzou beaten anybody? No. But, like, at least Mizzou is ranked early on, and they do have at least a top 25. Well, so does Illinois. But Kansas just lost to UNLV, who's having a really good year thus far. They're 3-0. But UNLV went into Lawrence last week, or maybe it was Kansas City. I think it was Kansas City. So he went in there, and they knocked off Kansas. So that win over Kansas for Illinois looks a little less impressive, right? I think it's great that they're ranked. Illinois fans have very little to be excited about football-wise over the years, so I shouldn't take this from them, but yeah, I think it's a little fraudulent. And I'll go as far to say that I think Nebraska handles that tonight.
Oh, Carey Davis. He just dropped to a knee in pain. He doesn't know why. So he's got a stabbing feeling in his back.
I think that Dylan Raiola is the real deal. Raiola is the quarterback for Nebraska, freshman. I think he's the real deal. They can run the football. Their defense creates havoc. I think that Illinois gets behind tonight. And we see Luke Altmaier really struggle.
Oh, boy.
Wow. I said it. He did. All right?
Wow.
I said it. Nebraska may even be my pick at the end of the show.
That's brutal.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, it wouldn't be quite my revenge because Central Michigan did play Illinois last week, and, the Falcons lost to the Steelers. A small piece of me is looking for revenge tonight against the Carey Davises.
But this has nothing to do with you. You're inserting yourself into a fight that has nothing to do with you.
100%. Yeah. Wow. Yes.
You're a real piece of crap.
100%. I'm not going to fight you on that. I'm a real piece of crap.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, good
just
luck.
my thoughts.
Good luck.
Anybody else? Marsh?
No,
Jamie?
I
Illinois?
think the college football Patrick Mahomes. I think he gets it done tonight.
Raiola.
I've said. Everyone thinks it. He has the same number, has the same haircut, does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He's trying to be Pat Mahomes.
Yes.
And maybe that's because he grew up and Pat Mahomes was his favorite player. That's fine.
I tried to be Dion.
Yeah.
And if you looked at my, my Pop Warner tape,
yeah,
it'd be real tough to tell if it was Dion or me.
Well, Anthony, I think you're a better coach.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Marchie. All right, question 5.
His team was undefeated.
8-0.
Question number 5.
We start again in October, boys.
There you go.
Repeat, baby.
I think it's going to be a little tougher. We got a reputation.
Yeah? They got a book on you now.
They got a book on us.
This is a good one from the 314. I've always wanted to know if a fan recognizes any of you out in public, what do you want us to say? Hi, ask a question, thank you for being so funny and entertaining, or do you have a preference on how to interact, or would you rather us not say anything and just nod if we happen to make eye contact?
Yeah, no, come and say hi for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love talking to people, and I'm always very humbled when people talk about how much they like the show or that they listen all the time and all this. I honestly, I always feel like, who the hell are we, So
Right.
It's awesome that people listen. If you're out to dinner with your family or your girlfriend or, whoever it is, and somebody recognizes you, come over, say hi, kind of make it quick. You know, like I'm not being a jerk here. Say, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Love the show. Take care. You know, that kind of thing. If we're out and about, we're having a couple beers, whatnot. Yeah, let's talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's do the fast lane hot stove. I don't care.
So when Jamie and I had Stalter and Rivers, the whole idea, or even like when Jamie, because Jamie and I were paired up together with the turn when Dunk took his second leave. We always had the idea of our show is that of us at a bar, and we're at the bar, we're talking sports, and if somebody overhears it, they can join.
Yeah.
Like that's the way we have envisioned our show, and March has adopted that philosophy, and Carey now has adopted that philosophy. So if we're going to have that philosophy as a show, and we have gotten people that have said like, hey, like somebody on Twitter recently said, I feel like I know you guys. I feel like I'm joining. I'm a part of the show.
Yep.
That's our biggest compliment. So if somebody says that to us when we're out, that's phenomenal, man. That's great. We want to be those guys at the bar shooting the you-know-what, just talking sports. That is what type of show we want. So, yeah, please come on and say hello. And there's no bigger compliment when somebody says, man, I was listening the other day. I was laughing my ass off. Or I couldn't go in. Here's the best one. I couldn't go in the house because you guys were talking about something. I just had to hear what you had to say. That's a huge compliment. So
I remember one time I was out and about, and obviously we have YouTube now, so the listeners, if they're on YouTube, they can see us. So now they know what we look like. That wasn't the case though for quite some time.
It's true.
And I remember one guy came up to me and he asked, he's like, "Oh, are you Andrew Marsh?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." Like, how did you know? And he's like, "I could tell by your voice." Which I was like, oh, wait, that's pretty cool because we're radio. And so to be recognized by a voice rather than just a face, that was, to me, that was a really huge compliment. So I really enjoyed it, and I love talking. I mean, I'm just a normal dude.
We all are. Yeah.
We're all normal dudes with microphones in front of our faces.
That's definitely
true. And one thing that as a group collectively, we have, I don't even know if we ever really discussed it. Maybe we did a while back. I don't know. But we're open books.
Yeah.
Like, I talk about my personal life. I do. People know that went through a divorce. People know I've got a girlfriend now. People know the kids. Like people know about, and I don't mind it that way.
Yeah.
That way you can get we are, like you said, we're regular people.
Yeah.
We have regular problems. We have regular successes, regular failures. Like it is what it is, man.
Exactly. Am I taking a beating for the Illinois take? Brian in Illinois. Anthony's diss on Illinois sounds like a
Richard Cranium tantrum.
I think CD will agree. There was something else. Can you scroll down? The water boy said something.
I don't even know it. There he is.
Anthony, if you were given a eulogy, would you use the line, "He was sick"?
I actually want Anthony to do my eulogy. When I pass away, I want Anthony to be like, well, guys,
listen,
it's better because,
Don't feel bad.
Well, he died once, and he died again.
He was sick this
time. He was sick. The first time, that was just a shoddy job by a Croatian vet. A veterinarian, not a member of the military.
Not a military. It might have been.
Who knows? But at that point, he was at a pet cemetery.
Oh,
that was on them. This time, Jamie was sick. Man. Nice job, Waterboy. All right, question 6.
Question number 6.
All right, we get a question from the 314. Fellas, miss ya. Still listen a ton. Just can't really interact with the show as much.
It's got to be Swan.
No, it's just the 314.
Oh, hey, 314.
My question is, which team would you say is represented most amongst fans from the St. Louis metro region right now? Is it City SC, the Cards, Chiefs, Blues, Mizzou football, SLU, Hoops, the Illini, or any others you can think of? What do you guys think?
Represented?
What is what? I missed the first part of that.
So he's asking like what do we think? What St. Louis sports team like represents St. Louis right now?
Probably the Cardinals.
If I'm getting that correct.
Yeah.
It probably remains the Cardinals.
I think it largely remains the Cardinals. I think the Blues have a good following. City SC has, passionate fans, but
here's another way, and maybe this is what the 314 was indicating. Which one actually like can be a representation right now? Like Mizzou is ranked 6th in the nation, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like, could they be the team that represents St. Louis? That's tough.
I still ultimately think it's the Cardinals. Like when you ask someone out of town, you go, "Hey, St. Louis." First thing that comes to mind, Cardinals.
It's got to be the Cardinals.
Yeah.
If we're approaching it like that, I think it has to be the Cardinals.
I do too.
I also
But
think.
where are you though? Because if you're in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan,
Yeah.
and you say St. Louis, they're going to say the Blues.
Well, yeah, because they probably could have had the Blues a long time ago. In the old
I'm just saying
Saskatchewan.
because Canadian people are going to veer off to
Right.
the hockey side.
Right.
I do think that, and I think this is an interesting thought, and this is why I'm going to bring it up. But I think of like baseball hats. Like think of like popular celebrities. They wear baseball hats to represent like their cities. So I think that's where a lot of people kind of recognize certain images. I always see like red St. Louis Cardinal baseball hat.
Yeah.
Even from people that aren't even from St. Louis, it's just an
It's
iconic
iconic.
It
logo.
is. I mean, it's not the Yankees cap.
No, but
I
the
understand
Yankees
what you're
fall
talking
in line
about.
with that.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah, absolutely.
I know more people from out of the state that weren't born here that are Cardinals fans than like the Blues or what the Rams were.
Yeah.
Or City SC.
I agree.
Like City SC, you're from here obviously,
Right.
so you got that tie. But I know people that I know people in New York that are not from here at all, and they're Cardinals fans.
Yeah.
Just because Albert or
Right.
growing up in the 90s, Jim Edmonds or whoever. So
Well, I think like going back to the whole baseball hat cap thing, like I think the three I would say like most popular would be Yankees, Dodgers, Cardinals. Like most
Yeah.
iconic. Maybe you throw San Francisco in there.
Sure.
I don't know.
Cubs.
Cubs is another one, but I don't know. I don't know if you really want to be a part of that.
Marlins. Huh?
I don't know.
White Sox.
White
Yeah,
Sox
yeah.
is another one.
Why?
White Sox is another.
Yeah.
I would actually
Dude.
say White Sox is more popular than Cubs.
Rockies.
the
Come
White
on,
So-
guys.
Yeah, I think Jamie, I think you're off right now. So we're just gonna regroup. All right, we're gonna take a little
We're
break.
gonna reset.
We're gonna reset.
Okay.
And we're gonna start paying attention more. All right. Okay. NFL QB survey. We're gonna talk about the QB under the most fire this
Please?
weekend.
Huh?
Okay,
Huh?
he's got to reset. QB talk next on 101 ESPN.
ESPN.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN Live from the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Last hour of the show, 5:05. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. NFL Week 3 got started last night with a New York Jets victory. As I said, I've eaten a little crow today because Aaron Rodgers played very well last night, albeit against a Patriots team that should be overmatched and was, but nonetheless, hey, gotta give A-Rod some credit.
Like, I feel you're overdoing it a little bit, honestly, because
I was wrong.
No, but listen to me. Like, he had a good game, but like this is not like an epic performance. Yet you're treating it like you want to put rose petals at his feet. What the hell's wrong with you?
I've been so harsh in discussing A-Rod and Kirky football that. I feel like they deserve some love this week.
Yeah, but I don't think it has to be like fraudulent amount. Like, you could just say, hey, he had a good game.
Like Illinois.
Coming back out of the break. Yeah, kind of like that. Coming back out of the break, you got to readdress how great he played. He didn't play great. He played fine. He did his job.
A couple of tutties.
He did his job.
Almost dropped 3
Did
bills
he go
on
above
him?
and beyond? Was he a superstar? No,
Yeah,
he wasn't.
He was.
He wasn't.
Okay. All right. I feel you. Which quarterback is under the most pressure to lead his team to victory this weekend? The quarterback that has got an immense amount of pressure on him.
I think it's Dak Prescott.
Old Dacky boy.
I mean, or Lamar. You could pick that game.
I was going to go Lamar, so
yeah,
you could take Dak. I'll take Lamar on that one. But
both of those guys, Lamar in particular, but Dak, I feel like, I don't know, man.
Dude,
he's got the contract now and everything.
You cannot go 0-3 if you're the Ravens.
No.
I mean, you could and feasibly bounce back because you're a good team and all that, but 0-3. Plus, Lamar has owned the NFC. I think he's like 12-1 against NFC teams throughout his career. To me, it's on Lamar. And I know it's not everything is on one player, but like you have got to lift everybody up in that one.
Yeah.
1 and 2 looks a hell of a lot different than 0-3. So Lamar is my take.
Yeah, that game itself, I think those are the two like true answers. You could pick either one of those quarterbacks. I'm going to look at the Tennessee Titans and Will Levis. He has looked terrible. And he's not in the same.
In what ways?
Well, Anthony, I don't even know how to describe to you what he did in the past 2 weeks, other than he just liked to give the football to the other team.
When your coach in a post-game press conference calls it dumb,
yeah.
That's pretty bad.
I'm not going to lie. When I first saw that post-game interview, I had to like double check to make sure it wasn't like AI.
Because they do those AI ones.
They do. They do the AI ones, and I'm like, this can't be a real press conference, is it? And I went and checked. I even double-checked the day that we played the audio just to make sure that it wasn't AI. But there were articles written about it. I go, I guess it's real. But I think
did it have a blue check mark?
I didn't know. I don't know.
It's foggy now.
Yeah. But Will Levis, he's not in the same situation as Bryce Young. I don't think he has an excuse. He his career, I think, is on the line this season.
I don't think that's a stretch.
I don't think it's a stretch at all.
And it starts this week because you're playing a Green Bay team. I've heard rumblings that Jordan Love could come back. I don't think he's going to play.
He actually showed up at practice. Like, he was practicing, I guess, a little bit yesterday.
He took limited
or
reps.
Wednesday. Limited, yeah.
If I was Green Bay, I wouldn't rush him because you are playing the Titans.
That's a good point.
I think you'll be fine.
Probably going to hand you the game.
They'll probably hand you the
Literally.
game. We could see a turnover fest in that noon slate in that game, but Will Levis is the quarterback for me. They got to win this week.
Can I give you another one?
Sure.
Anthony Richardson.
That's a good one too.
Why?
Colts at home against the Bears.
Oh yeah.
You're Owen Deuce. Same situation as Lamar. If you're going to even be a wild card team in that conference, you better beat the Bears at home. And he was terrible last week in Green Bay. Week 1, okay, had the deep shots and all that. Everybody, he was awful last week. So against that Bears defense, which has actually played better than I thought it would, or at least better than what you would think based on their 1-1 record. But anyways, All right, next question for you guys. Which quarterback will lead all others in fantasy points this week? And the only reason why we're phrasing that is like which one's going to go off? Which one's going to go banana sandwich on everybody?
Baker Mayfield. He might be in play. They're playing the Broncos. And he's put up some pretty good numbers already this year in the fantasy world.
I think he's number 1. Didn't I say that the other day, Mark?
Yeah, he is.
Shaky bakey.
He's got Denver. Like, he could go off again.
He might.
And like I would like to pick. I'd like to pick maybe. I just had the game here. I'd like to pick like maybe Carr or Hurts, but it's like that's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. I'm going to take Carr.
All right.
The Eagles have allowed 399.5 passing yards per game thus far.
Is that a lot?
That is a blank ton. I think they are allowing teams to complete passes at like an insane clip. I think Derek Carr in that building against that soft defense, it's going to be a bloodbath. Derek Carr over the Eagles.
So I'm going to go with Kyler Murray. And hear me out here.
Against Motown?
Yeah, but
against Jamie's youngest?
The over-under set at 51.5. I don't know if they'll win that game by any means, but when I think of fantasy, I think of quarterbacks who use their legs. Kyler Murray is definitely one to use his legs, and he could run one into the end zone, and you get more points for that. Again, I don't know if they'll win this game by any means. They are at home, but the over-under is at 51.5, so that means the odds makers are thinking this is going to be a shootout. And if it's a shootout, that means everyone's eating in that game, and I think Kyler Murray could be one of those guys that ends up having a great week for fantasy football players or managers, we'll call them.
Are you going Baker?
Yes.
Okay. All right, last one. Which top 10 QB, and I put it in quotation marks, like top 10 QB. That could be, whoever you think is a top 10 quarterback, is in the most trouble based on the matchup or the situation. Ooh. So maybe a tough draw for a really good quarterback that could have a rougher week.
I'm going to go with Lamar. Dallas Cowboys defense, when they're on their game, are no joke. And if Micah Parsons is in his face all night long or keeping him to the pocket, not letting him get to the outside, like Lamar could struggle. Mm-hmm. And he's 0-2 right now. I'm not saying his confidence is rattled. I don't know the player enough to suggest that.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, there's pressure.
Yep.
That's a Super Bowl contending team, so we thought. Mm-hmm. And now they're 0-2 playing a Cowboys team that they were terrible last week, but that defense has been really good for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So I think it's Lamar.
I got C.J. Stroud.
Ooh.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud in Minnesota. What Brian Flores is doing with that defense, so he's got the ties from Bill Belichick. And one of the things that Bill Belichick has always done, and the guys that have coached under him have done, is they run a multiple front where they're trying to confuse the quarterback, moving all around. If you saw what they did last week against even Brock Purdy, but the week before that, obviously against Daniel Jones, like they are mixing up their fronts, they're mixing up their coverages. They'll take away the middle of the field, pre-snap, and then post-snap they'll fan out or vice versa. I think C.J. Stroud, who's got 494 yards and 3 touchdowns through 2 weeks thus far, I think he's the top 10 quarterback that could struggle this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see, though, that they got a few guys out, Minnesota, that is, Ivan Pace Jr. and their one of their first first-round draft picks in Dallas Turner. They will be out this week. So those are two guys to look for. We'll see if things are different up in Minnesota. I think for me, I'm going to go with Justin Herbert in the Los Angeles Chargers, taking on a stingy Pittsburgh team. They got a great defense. Anthony, you think he's a top 10 quarterback? I know you do.
I love Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh could give him fits.
He's trash.
Yeah.
Just hates him.
CD's got some interesting opinions.
Hey!
Charles Glenn! Here, actually, let's get Charles Glenn in here.
Yeah.
Come on in here, sir.
Here, let's. I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break, and then we have Charles Glenn on as well. All right, Charles Glenn next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
You're back.
So we've got a special guest with us today. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're live at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, and tonight the Charles Glenn Group will be live at Anheuser-Busch, and we are talking to the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Charles Glenn. Charles, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I am happy to be here. If you would have known everything I'm going through to get to this spot right here today, but everything's good. Everything's good. I am looking forward to this show.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Charles Glenn, the Charles Glenn Band will be performing tonight, and said you're going to have your lovely bride helping you out, and then another vocalist as well.
Yeah, one of the best vocalists in St. Louis.
Coming from you, that says a lot.
I mean, one of the best, and she's done both my wife and Tiffany have done the anthem for the Blues as well.
Sure.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so it's a family business.
Yes, sir.
Now, sticking with that theme, the Blues released a really, really cool video today.
Yes.
Why don't you walk us through that?
Well, I didn't know I was supposed to say anything, but I thought it was a secret. But the Blues have another singer, a very good singer, His name's Bouchard, and his range is really good. He's got good power. He's got blues attitude, and that's the most important thing. He's got blues attitude. He's a good guy, and he's looking forward to it. So I got to the arena early and waiting on Bouchard to show up. And he saw me. He goes, "So what are you doing here?" And I looked at him. I said, "How would you like to be the new blues singer, for the national anthem?" And he lost it. He lost it. I lost it. It was a emotional moment.
Yeah.
And then last week we were supposed to have a 1-hour lunch. 3 hours later, we were done. So it was good. It was good. I'm really happy with the choice.
Now, will you be doing it at all anymore? Because I know every now and then, Charles, we got to go to the bullpen. We got to bring in the big boy. It's a big game,
I got an inning left in me.
Good man.
I got an inning or two left in me. All depends on if we're playing Chicago.
There you go. Yeah, we got to match them head to head.
Yeah.
Their singer's pretty good up in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
So we got to bring in our ace.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he is real good. But you know who my favorite singer is besides Bouchard?
Yep.
Is the Boston singer.
Oh, yeah, the hot dog vendor there, or the beer guy.
The beer guy.
Have you ever heard the story of that?
No.
So I'm sure you know, Charles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this gentleman works at the Boston Garden. And one night their national anthem singer got sick or something happened, so they didn't have one. And so they're basically canvassing, like, does anybody have singing experience? Can anybody sing the national anthem? And this gentleman, kind of shyly, well, I think I do. I could do it. And he got out there, and he killed it.
Really?
I mean, to the point where I think they gave him the job, like, right on the spot.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. His name's Todd Agili.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I would do, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. Just before he would sing, I would text him, because we ended up being friends on Facebook. I said, "You know the words? Gotta go." And you see him laughing, and he goes, and then he would text me before I sang it. "You gonna hold that note? You gonna hold that note?" And just before I get on, and I'm like, "Oh gosh," because you gotta concentrate.
Oh yeah.
So we've been friends ever since.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Charles, how did you get started with the national anthem? Singing, I know you've been doing that your whole life.
Yes.
But how did you, becoming the Blues national anthem singer, how did that happen? And then, like, after you did it once, what was the succession, all that?
Well, I used to do Ram games.
Okay.
And then I got word that there was a national anthem audition for the Blues. Come on down. Her name is Jill Hahn. She used to work with the Blues. She said, "Come on down. You're not supposed to know this, but just come in. If they ask what you're doing, you're auditioning for the anthem." So I went down, and there was like 30 singers.
Woof.
And they said, "How many people know the Canadian anthem?" So I raised my hand because I was in Canada like 3 weeks before. So they said, and so half the people raised their hand. He goes, everybody else, you can leave. I'm like, oh, geez. So when it was my turn, I think I was the 8th singer. When it was my turn, I sang. And I said, oh, say, can you see? The mic went out.
Oh, no.
The mic went out, and I just kept singing. I said, I'm not going to stop. I just keep on singing.
So that's a pro right there.
So everybody else got to sing both the Canadian and the American national anthem. And so they said, okay, let me fix your mic. So they fixed it. I said, you want me to sing the Canadian anthem? No, you can go home. Dang, okay.
Wow.
2 days later, they said, you want to do the opener? I said, hey.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had heard enough.
They heard enough.
Well, a true pro, too. You can't just be rattled. He just kept
right.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
It was all or nothing. Either
Yeah.
I sing it or I choke. Yeah. And I said, what do I have to lose?
Well, the rest is history now,
yes,
right,
sir.
buddy?
Yes, sir.
So now, were you always a hockey fan? I know you are a hockey fan now, but have you always been?
No.
No, okay.
No.
So
As
when
a
did
matter
the love
of
for
fact,
hockey start?
Well, I would, in my first year, I would sing and I would leave because I either had a gig or I didn't know much about hockey. And so one of the people that worked for the Blues said, why don't you stick for a game? We got tickets for you. I said, okay. All right. And I was hooked ever since. I was hooked it's so fast. And they're punching. And I said, they're dancing. And so one time I brought my daughter. She was about 10. And I said, we're going to a hockey game. Daddy, I don't like hockey. I like football. I said, we're going to a hockey game. She went to her hockey game. When she was of college age, she was a Blues Crew girl.
Oh, wow.
She fell in love with it. So, I mean, Blues hockey is addictive. Mm-hmm. It is addictive. Win, lose, or draw, they're going to give it their all, And I've been hooked ever since 1999.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and when we go to the playoffs, everybody has to leave the room. I'm just like, okay, all right, win, lose, or draw. I'm hooked.
Charles, we're talking to Charles Glenn, who's here today at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, performing today with the Charles Glenn Group. I got to ask you, so you obviously you're watching the Super Bowl, you're watching various sporting events, and they do the national anthem.
Yes.
Do you sit there and almost, not maybe critique is too much of a strong word, but in your head you're kind of going through the lyrics and the steps and what you would do?
I'm critiquing.
I was going to say, do you sit there and go, I'm better than that?
No, I don't, because.
Especially if you got those pipes.
Yeah. Everybody has their style.
Yes.
They have their style, and some I like, and some, somebody else should sing it.
Yeah.
But everybody has their own style. I try not to critique.
So let me ask you this, because this would be my pet peeve.
Okay.
With the national anthems.
All right.
Is when they change it.
Yes.
Too much. I'm
Yes.
okay with putting your stamp on it because I think every artist has their own unique way of
Yes.
making it their own.
Yes.
But when it changes it too much or they stretch it out too long and they add extra pieces to it, I find that to be, for me, a pet peeve.
Well, yeah, I understand that. And the thing is, everybody, like you said, everybody has their style, but it is not a showpiece for a vocalist. It's an anthem, and an anthem is for everyone to sing. It's not, I'm here and I'm going to be a star. No. It's an anthem, so everybody's supposed to sing. So when everybody at the arena sings with me, I feel better. I feel better because we're all on the same vibe. We're all in the same energy, unless Chicago shows up. When Chicago shows up, they try to out-talk you.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I got something for him.
I will say my favorite thing, obviously you do a fantastic anthem, but when you sing Blues Go Marching In, like that really gets the fans going. That was one of my favorite things.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I mean, you killed that.
My wife and I rearranged it, you know. We wanted to be more bluesy.
Mm-hmm.
And so she wrote the lyrics to the second lyrics. You know, the first lyrics, that goes without saying. But when the cup comes to St. Louis, we weren't changing that at all. You know, and I, you know, when we were in Boston playing Game 7, I was at my boss's house. He said, come on down and watch the game with, you know. So everybody at my job came, you know, and the Blues won. He goes, it's up to you to make the toast. You know, my boss is Steve Shankman. He runs Contemporary Productions.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I said, okay. And he busted out the Don Perignon and everything. And I said, there's no place I'd rather be than right here. But I told you all this before, once we win the cup, the price goes up.
Now, the last thing I got for you, Charles, just let you get going here, but
That's all right.
During the 2019 Cup run,
yes.
How were your nerves?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Because I know how it was for me, and I was like, every game, I mean, I didn't sit down. Game 7, I stood up the whole time. Scott Warman probably thought I was a psychopath that night. I stood up the whole night.
Scott gets it.
Scott gets it, yeah. Trust me, Scotty's a psycho, too. I love the man. But for you were a big part of it. You know, every game, singing the national anthem, and you're representing the team. You know,
it was nerve-wracking. But when we scored like the first 2 goals, I said, "Okay, we're good. We're good. Boston's not ready. We're good. We travel well.
Yep.
You know, we're good." And but when we played San Jose, and then when we played Boston, I was a nervous wreck. We went to 2 overtimes with San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
My sister came in with her husband in Kansas City. We were sitting in watching the game. I don't know what we're going to do. And my sister looked at me and she says, we're going to win. Don't worry about it. I said, what do you know? You're from Kansas City. You know hockey. And then they won. So, yeah, I was a nervous wreck. But life has changed ever since that cup.
Yeah, it has.
For the better.
Uh-huh.
For the better, you know. My grandkids are heroes now.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter is a hero. So, you know, she said, yeah, that's my dad. That's my dad. I said, do you ever tell him that you were a Blues Crew girl? No. I said, okay. Don't worry about it.
Hey, as a dad, take the compliment when you can get it from your kids.
Trust me,
right?
I understand.
Right?
Because things change at a drop of a hat.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Charles, Glenn, it's our pleasure to have you on these airwaves and chatting with us and have fun tonight.
I had a great 20 years. Wonderful 20 years. It's been a blessing. But to talk with you guys, that's even more of a blessing. But the Cardinals need me to bat 7th. I'll do it.
They definitely
we could
need
use
that,
you.
Charles.
You never know.
Yeah, I'll step in front of a pitch.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Charles, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Bless you. It's good to see you guys.
It's all our pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, you take care.
Charles Glenn,
on,
he's here at Anheuser-Busch Brewery. He'll be tonight, Charles Glenn Group performing, and we're going to have a great time kicking off the Blues season here at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. We do need a new contestant for Beat the Streak, so text in. If you want to play Beat the Streak, text in 314-399-9646. That's next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Coverage Broadcasting live at Blues and Brews inside the Anheuser-Busch Brewery on 101 ESPN.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming. And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
So we're going to play Beat the Streak here in the second. We're live at Anheuser-Busch Brewery for the Blues kickoff season event. Should be a great night down here. I feel like Blues fans are starting to trickle in right now, Marsh.
Absolutely.
My wife Kristen just got here, so she's ready to go. She's got a beer, so she's happy. Before we get to Jim for Beat the Streak, just text in your starter sit fantasy football questions. We did this last week, so if you got any fantasy football questions that you want to throw at us, you can. Toward the end of the segment, we'll do that. So start sending those in, 314-399-9646. But we welcome back Jim, or not back Jim, we actually welcome in Jim for Beat the Streak. What's up, Jim?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing great. You're going to be you got some big shoes to fill, I feel like. AJ's gone now, but AJ had a streak of like 4 or 5, didn't he, Mark?
Yeah, AJ had a streak of 4. He was on a roll, decided to go with Alec Burleson last night, and unfortunately for AJ, Burleson went 0 for Gopher, 0 for 4, but that means Jim has an opportunity today in Beat the Streak.
There you go. All right, so Marsh, what's the latest streaks?
All right, so Anthony, you are ahead of all of us with a streak of 3.
Ooh. All right.
Carey, Jamie, streaks of 2, and then I am back to 0, and then, of course, we have Jim, who's joining us for the first time today.
All right, I will take Andres Jimenez as my selection. Andres Jimenez for my Beat the Streak selection.
Who did Carey go with today?
Carey for, I got this up right now, Jose Ramirez, believe it or not.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And Jamie, Jamie's on right now with WIL, I guess. He decided to hop on with Marty the Party over there.
Who should we give Jamie?
Let's give Jamie, let's see. He wants Pedro Pajes.
Of course he does.
Yeah, he wants Pedro Pajes to
Why
get a hit
wouldn't
tonight.
he want PD Pages?
Yep, he loves him.
I am going to let Jim go first.
Jim, go ahead.
I'm going to lie, but I'm feeling Donnie baseball.
All right. Hey, you got 4 hits last night, so why not ride the hot guy, Jim?
That's what I'm thinking.
Give me the former Cardinal. I love doing this. Give me Lane Thomas tonight for
All
Beat
right.
the Streak.
There you go. You went narrative-based. I like it.
I always do.
Hey, Jim, thanks for playing. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend, my man.
Yeah, you guys too. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you. There you go. There is Beat the Streak. Now it's time for Start or Sit. All right, so we did this last week, Marsh, and I feel like we did okay for the folks.
I thought so. I thought we did pretty well. Maybe not me. I said go with Aaron Rodgers over Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow had a pretty nice game. Aaron Rodgers, it was fine, but
He threw a couple of touchdowns.
he was okay.
Yeah. It could have been worse.
Yeah. Let's start off with the 636 starter sit. Michael Pittman. AR hasn't looked good, and they haven't featured him in the offense much yet. What do you think about Michael Pittman? Are you starting him this week?
So I don't love, from like a fantasy football perspective, Anthony Richardson not highlighted. He doesn't really have a go-to guy. It should be, in theory, Michael Pittman Jr. because Michael Pittman Jr. is their best wide receiver.
Right.
But when you don't play in a high-volume offense, and the Colts don't, and Richardson is running around as much as he's throwing it, I would actually just sit Michael Pittman for now. I'm sure you spent a decently high, maybe not too high, but mid-round pick on Pittman, thinking you got a wide receiver 1, and you do.
Yeah.
But if Anthony Richardson's not throwing the ball 30 times a game, that's problematic for your standpoint. So I would actually sit Pittman.
So this might play right into this next question with what you just said. From the 314, are you starting Derek Carr or Anthony Richardson? I think this
Carr.
one's pretty easy.
Yeah, Carr and a layup. So I mentioned this before. The Eagles are allowing nearly 400 yards a game passing. I can't remember what the exact number is in terms of yards per catch, but it's astronomical. You saw it on Monday night. They don't blitz at all. That's not in Vic Fangio's repertoire or reputation. So I think Derek Carr is going to sit there and he's going to pick apart Philly's defense, and I think Carr is going to have another massive day on Sunday.
All right, I'm assuming this is a flex play from the 314. Worthy or Steele?
Xavier Worthy versus the Falcons or Steele against the Falcons. I would have to look at to see what else you have at from a running back perspective. I think the Chiefs are going to put the ball in the air a ton this weekend. I don't think they're going to rely too much on the running game, and I think they're going to actually mix in Xavier Worthy a lot on like end arounds and reverses like we saw in week 1.
Yeah.
With that speed, I think Worthy could pop one. I would go with Xavier Worthy.
Are you like? I feel like it's weird with these rookie wide receivers because you don't really know what you're actually going to get from them. Like Malik Neighbors, for instance, had a great week too. Right. So you're thinking, okay, should I start this guy because he had a great week too? But is it more like matchups when it comes to fantasy football?
I think it's lightning in a bottle with somebody like Malik Neighbors. He doesn't play in a great passing offense. However, if they're going to be down a lot and they're going to have to throw in the fourth quarter, then I could see some garbage time stats. So you have to at least consider that. But when it comes to Worthy specifically, look how Andy Reid utilizes his guys. You know, look at how he's utilized Kadarius Toney when he first got him. Some of these other, these wide receivers that have a lot of speed but aren't necessarily a big part of the passing game, he'll put the ball in their hands. Right. So I think Worthy could have maybe not a massive game, but I think it's worth it to go with Worthy over Steele.
Interesting question from the 618. Stephon Diggs or Zamir White in my flex spot. Mind you, Stephon Diggs only had 4 receptions last week against the Bears, and now they're taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
I would go with – oh, man.
That's tough.
I would go with the better player. I think if you asked 10 other football fans, they may go with White. 9 of them may go with White, but I'm gonna go with Diggs. First of all, if it's back and forth between Minnesota and Houston, you're talking about seeing all 4 quarters of Diggs having his opportunities.
Right.
White, I get it. It's a better matchup with Carolina, but I'm not in love with the Raiders' running game. So I would choose the better option, which would be Diggs.
So, Jamie, your second child, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are taking on the Denver Broncos. We got a question from the 314. Mike Evans, question mark. He's guarded by Surtain.
Ooh.
I think you have to start Mike Evans. I would even go as far as saying that Mike Evans, if you likes, I think he's gonna score multiple touchdowns this week.
Well, Baker Mayfield really likes passing the ball to him, too.
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
So I would definitely have him in there.
Well said.
Thank you.
Gardner Minshew.
Appreciate your support, Anthony.
This is a question.
Always, Jamie.
Imagine answering this question, I would even say 2 years ago. Gardner Minshew or Baker Mayfield?
Oh, this is an easy one right now. Baker Mayfield's running the table with everything. And they're playing the Broncos, too. Who are the Raiders guy?
Yeah, it's
the Panthers.
Oh, hell, okay.
And then that's kind of where
Hold
that
my
question,
beer, they said.
Yes.
But even so, it goes back to like the white versus
it's all about game script.
Yeah, like to me, Baker, I get it. Like Baker Mayfield, they might be up in the second half and all that. He also might be out in the fourth quarter with 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Right.
They were up against Washington. He threw 4 touchdowns. So I would go with Baker Mayfield. Want to do one more?
Let's do one more. And we talked about Anthony Richardson quite a bit in this segment so far. Jaden Daniels or Anthony Richardson this week?
Ooh.
My question is, this has to be a 2-quarterback league, right? I feel bad if those are your 2 starters.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I'm sure he took. I think Anthony Richardson was probably his starter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about like how the draft.
That's fair.
If you didn't get a quarterback in like the 5th round,
yeah.
and they start to fall,
good value
I could see
play.
that.
Yeah.
I would go with Jaden Daniels.
Would you? I would go Richardson. Jaden Daniels got the Bengals.
I love the fact that he's gonna run. He
like the rushing upside.
He may run for 60 yards.
Yeah.
True.
They
And
still
they're
haven't. They still haven't.
and
they
they're
didn't
using-
score a touchdown last week.
They're
though.
using him at the goal line too. Think about it. He had two. I think he had 2 rushing touchdowns against Tampa. I'd go Jaden Daniels. It sounds like Jamie would go with Anthony Richardson.
I would have, yeah.
Who also gives you rushing
Yeah, I think
ability.
that might be a coin flip, to be honest. I don't know if we helped in any way, but
I'd go Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Jamie would go Anthony Richardson. You break the tie.
I'd go with Anthony Richardson.
There you go.
There you
So go with AA Anthony. Didn't work. All right. We got Bet the Board. We've got 3 stars of the day. We got criticisms and compliments next.
ESPN.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board. Marsh, should we just fly through our picks here?
Yeah, we might as well. I can just do a real quick update. We have Carey with 8. Jamie and I are tied with 7 points. Anthony, you're at 5 right now.
All right. Jamie, go ahead.
Oh, what's Carey's bet? What 1.5 bet does he have today?
Right.
Let's see here. Still holding. Jose Ramirez won it over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
All right.
Like
there you
clockwork.
go. Yeah.
All right, I had 2 plays I was looking at, but I'm going to stick with the strategy that I've had, is going with the better pitcher. Diamondbacks Brewers tonight. Zach Gallen on the bump for the Diamondbacks. I'm going money line with them at -135.
There you go.
I'm taking USC at -4.5 against Michigan.
I'm going to go with the over Eagles Saints 49.5 on Sunday. All right, Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
All right, real quick here. Let's go to the 314. As simple as it can be. Have a great weekend, guys. Let's go Blues.
Yes.
There you go. Nice.
Let's go Blues.
Love it.
Let's get to our 3 stars before we get out of here. Our 3rd star of the day goes to the Rams Week 3 starting tackle.
1 minute.
Thank you. Anthony Stalter. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Playing left tackle on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
2nd star
What
of the day.
could go wrong?
Nah, you're fine. Quarterback's fine.
2nd star of the day goes to NFL star players that stay healthy.
Yes.
All right.
And our 1st star of the day goes to our just a great guy, can just sing, and that's Charles Glenn.
Yes.
Charles Glenn, there
Awesome
you go.
guest.
Absolutely.
Awesome
Excellent.
guest.
Yep. All right.
Great voice.
Couple of thank yous. Dodie Rallman, thank you for getting us on air today and keeping us on air. Bradford Bruns back in the 101 ESPN studios. Excellent job as well. To our street teamers, I know Drew is walking around here as well. He's setting up things for WIL and us. Happy anniversary tomorrow to my beautiful wife, Kristen. Happy anniversary. Number
baby.
11, she's put up with me for 11 years, guys. So.
That only feels like 30.
Yeah, that's it. For Jamie Rivers, for Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.